Mike Jones as they meet at midcourt.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
We got plenty of time to discuss Razorback basketball this morning as you get a close, hard-fought victory against UNC Greensboro last night. But on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, the number one story across this state concerning Arkansas sports is the fact that your defensive coordinator is heading out to Vegas. No, not for a recruiting trip. No, not for a fun weekend. But the fact that he is now becoming UNLV's head football coach. And that's where we'll start this morning here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
Hey, we're brought to you this morning by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance, all at the best prices. Lee J and Chris have on-site storage, service department to take care of all your needs, paint and collision center, and more. It's all at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale.
I know you have a lot of questions when this announcement came down yesterday. Matt Zenitz of On3 was the first to get the story. Then it became official, and people had the question of who's he taking with him, coaching staff, what players might consider going out to Vegas with Barry Odom. We've got a lot to discuss here when it comes to that. Now, initially I saw something that Coach Ed Orgeron was a possible candidate for the running Rebels job. And I guess the other Coach Odom, ended up getting this job. I wonder about Michael Scherer. I wonder about a lot of these players that maybe were fringe guys that have a better shot at playing at UNLV than they do Arkansas. And I don't know if we're going to have all those answers today, Tommy, but we will probably have them in the coming weeks.
Well, no question this is a loss for Arkansas, and I think we need some clarity on whether or not Coach Odom is going to be a part of the bowl game preparation and the game day coaching staff. I mean, I've seen some things, but I wouldn't call them official that there was some belief he would still do that. But that'll be some points of clarity we'll seek in the next few days. We'll get into the contract and the pay stuff. But listen, if you're going to take a job and you want to be a head coach, and clearly – I mean, the outside reads he values being a head coach. He wouldn't do this because he's doing it for a little bit less money. And I would actually make the case he's doing it for a lot less money because the cost of living in Vegas is going to be higher. But if you look at a place in the NIL world, you're going to go into a conference like the Mountain West, and I can't sit here and name you every market and every city in the Mountain West, but I can't imagine any of them are better than Vegas. And in an NIL world, where do you think there's more NIL deals available? They're collective or whatever you want to call it. Their pot of money probably not as big as others, but if you're going to go down a level of college football, and this is, to be a head coach, this is probably a good spot because I would imagine a market in a city like Vegas, a stadium like Allegiant, there's a lot of things that will attract recruits, attract coaches to your staff, and attract businesses that want to market themselves through players right there in Vegas. There's just more available money in that market than any other Mountain West market. And I'm generalizing there, but I think I'm probably right without looking that up, that this is a good spot at the non-Power 5 level to be a head coach for a lot of reasons, and those are a few I just listed.
And I think about the most notable, at least, athletics program when it comes to UNLV is Jerry Tarkanian's the Shark, because that was his nickname back in the day.
Heard that towel around, bite on that towel.
Larry Johnson, Greg Anthony, Stacey Ogman. Yeah, that's what I thought. And, I mean, you think about that team that came into Barnhill Arena that one Sunday, the team that smashed Duke in the national championship only to lose to them a year later. That's the most notable sports team that I think of with UNLV. But as you just said, there's an attractability there. They get to play their games in Allegiant Stadium. I mean, think about that. That is an incredible football venue. You've spoken the praises. I know you haven't been inside, but just seeing the outside of it.
I drove around the outside.
It's crazy. So that's a recruiting tool in itself. And I know facilities are not as big a deal as they used to be, But I wish Coach Odom nothing but the best of luck. I think he was a pivotal reason that you were able to get this program back on level footing at least. Now, there's issues that you have with every coach, and there's probably issues you had with Barry Odom in certain games, certain things he did. But for the most part, I think there's positives you take away from his time here at Arkansas, and I hope he has success at UNLV as long as he doesn't poach a lot of Razorback players.
Well,
then I'll get ticked off.
I think the players that are SEC players are going to stay in an SEC school. Now, that's, again, me generalizing. I don't think there's probably a big desire to go to the Mountain West. This isn't a moving across your division or to another school in your league. This is moving to an entire technically 2 time zones away. Vegas. Yeah. So I'm not worried so much about that. If a player follows him from Arkansas to there, and I don't know that that'll happen at all. Could. I'm not saying it won't, but maybe. But I don't think it's going to be SEC caliber players. I could be dead wrong about that, but this is not the place. I think it's great for Barry Odom. Obviously, professionally, he values, like I said a minute ago, being a head coach. He's 40. He's about my age. I think he's a year younger than me. He's 45 or 46.
He just turned 46 last month.
Okay, so yeah, he's about a year younger. I turned 47 this month. So he's at that point where he's made good money along the way. We think, well, he's going out there for less money initially. Well, yeah, and the cost of living is going to be higher. Yeah, but I mean, I don't imagine he's too worried about his 401k at this point. He's at a point where he's put in his 20 years of professional work. He's built up a nest egg where he can take a risk. Michael Scher, on the other hand, young coach, about your age, 26, 7, 8 years, something like that. Whatever his age is.
I didn't realize he was that young.
Yeah, he's a young guy. And I believe that's right. You can check me on that, but he played for Barry up there, been a GA. I think he's a 20-something-year-old guy. He's trying to get to that point. Wouldn't surprise me at all if I would expect him to go with Barry Odom and maybe even be the defensive coordinator out there, perhaps. So, this is a good time probably for him to take this swing at the plate if you're Barry Odom and his family.
And now Sam has a decision to make, and I don't know if Sam Pittman will let us in on the process of, I knew this was coming, this was sudden. Him and Barry seem to be good friends, have a great deal of respect of one another, but coaching's a different world, and sometimes even these conversations are kept between just family members, and I don't know if Sam Pittman had any indication whatsoever that Barry Odom was either. Regardless, he now has a decision to make. Who's going to be his next defensive coordinator? And I said this during the summer. You cannot do what Brett did and hire a crappy staff after your initial good staff. He brought in a good staff. He had Barry Odom. He had Kendall Briles. Most people rank that within, when you talk about an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, a top 3 unit in the Southeastern Conference. Barry's gone. You have to make a quality hire at the defensive coordinator spot to replace a guy that you seem to have good symmetry and chemistry with.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is where you're going to find out. Sam Pittman got his money last year, got the new deal. Things took a step back this year. Maybe it's time for a change. Now, I think a lot of Barry Odom's defensive issues were injury related, and the team, once they had some time to make those adjustments, get some players coached up the last 2 or 3 ball games, wouldn't you say there was a noticeable improvement in tackling, noticeable improvement in efficiency of that defense? I think it's a real loss for Arkansas. I think you're losing a really good coach. Now, I understand this. I think injuries had a lot to do with the overall record and the overall performance of this year's team, but it's going to be hard for Sam Pittman to replace Barry Odom with the same caliber and quality, and certainly not going to find probably many candidates with the same head coaching background he brought to the table. All right, Chuck will be with us in 20 minutes. We'll get his thoughts on this situation and last night's basketball game as well. We're brought to you by World of Wireless. I was on the road last night, but I logged into my Dish Anywhere account, meaning I could watch the game from where I was at, even set the DVR and watch it later on when I want to. So that's one of the great things about Dish. Get a 3-year price lock when you sign up with Dish through World of Wireless on a 2-year commitment. 877-305-DISH for WOW, World of Wireless.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Jarius Wright, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Sing along with me. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Leaves are everywhere. Something like that. Now, actually, the leaves aren't everywhere. They're in one of two places. There's a ton of them that are in your yard, and the other half, they're in your gutters. And with the weight of all those leaves when wet, plus the muck and mud and shingle grit that's already there, man, that's a recipe for disaster. Now, let old Chef Roger help you out with what's cooking at Leaf Guard of Arkansas. The first 20 folks that call and get set up will get 75% off labor on a whole house job. 75% off. Plus, you may also be eligible for 18 months of no-interest financing. So if having the only true one-piece covered gutter system on the market wasn't already the best gift in a while, now it's 75% off labor on a whole house job and no-interest financing for 18 months has put it in the running with a new car, a deer rifle, or a puppy as best gift ever. Call Leaf Guard at 501-664-5400 or visit leafguardandmore.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while, or if you haven't had the best of experiences with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry. Give her a call at 494-7600. They'll take care of it all. Crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today. 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters.
Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has two locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Ball on the floor, stolen by Smith. Nick's going to lead the break all the way to the other end. Finger roll and one.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
Nick Smith Jr. showed why he's the number one college basketball practice with 16 second-half points last night. We're going to talk about this game coming up in just a sec.
Hey, this weekend marks the opening of Oaklawn. Your time to get back to one of our favorite places right here in Arkansas. The races begin this weekend and will run every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through May the 6th. You can bet at oaklawnanywhere.com. If you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn app, go to the Apple App Store, get it there, and go to Oaklawn Anywhere and get more details. Use the promo code RUSH23. When you get the app, it gives you past performances, free access to great handicapping selections that will help you win. You can earn points for cash back with every dollar wagered as well. This weekend, there's several stakes races. Friday, the $150,000 Advent Stakes, the $150,000 Mistletoe, and the $150,000 Ring the Bell Stakes, all this weekend on opening weekend at Oaklawn. So go to the oaklawnanywhere.com, go to the Apple App Store, or wherever you get your apps. Use promo code RUSH23, and new members can get a $150 sign-up bonus right now. That, again, is promo code RUSH23. Visit oaklawnanywhere.com for more details and get you one of them corned beef sandwiches if you go in person this weekend.
He started off an abysmal 0 of 9 from the three-point line. You ended up 3 of 18 from the game. Scoreless in over 8 minutes in the first half, yet you still found a way to win, and that's the most important thing. Nick Smith, he had 6 in the first half, started off ultra hyper-aggressive, and then really got going as the game kind of started flowing a little bit. It's good to see him step up. Tommy, he has... He had 5 the first game, 16 the second game, then I think 22 last night. So he's kind of progressing where he thinks going to be. But you can tell the crowd is energized when they see what he does on the floor each and every game.
Here's the other number I would pay attention to. 6 minutes the first game, 24 minutes the second game, I think it was. Almost 39 minutes last night with those 22 points you referenced. So I would say from a physical standpoint, concerned about the knee. I noticed they referenced underneath that knee sleeve or leg sleeve, it's really that he's wearing. It's heavily taped up, but clearly it wasn't a hindrance in playing 39 minutes last night. He scored 22 in the game, had 6 in the first half, so he was the difference in the ball game. And I'm not so sure, particularly with Trevin Brazell's first half injury. I think I'm on solid footing to say you don't win this game if Nick Smith's not ready to play last night. With Brazell going down, who else would? I mean, you needed more weapons. So without him and the way he performed, I don't know who else would have stepped up and gave you that much to win the game.
Nick doesn't look like a guy, as of last night, that is playing hobbled or coming back from knee injury. He looks like he's back in it. Now, the team overall, last night I felt like was the first time that they didn't look necessarily ready for him to be back during the course of the game. They looked out of sorts, out of shape. They didn't know at points of time who's going to get, or they just tried to basically drive, beat the guy one-on-one, and not really get into the flow of the offense, which has made this team successful. They are a good half-court team. They're not a great half-court team. This team thrives on getting out in transition, turning the other team over, and getting easy buckets. Greensboro didn't turn the ball over last night. They didn't have a lot of those opportunities transition-wise, thus leading to, I think, their worst offensive output of the season.
Arkansas was turning the ball over a lot early. They had 12 turnovers for the game. They had 9 of those in the first half. So I would imagine might have addressed that at halftime. There might have been a little
maybe so.
Suggestion, maybe a little urge, a little nudge to his team in a calm voice. Hey, guys. let's not turn the ball over in the second half. And they didn't. That was frustrating and hard to watch because there was just so many mistakes early in that game that Arkansas didn't have to take. And the shot selection just wasn't there because of Greensboro. I thought particularly on the left side, they were packing the paint, and Arkansas was trying to go that way, and kind of the near side watching on the screen that first half. Just wasn't much there. And 0 for 8 in the first 20 minutes from downtown and made some adjustments, took 10 more shots, made 3 of them behind the line in the second half. And, you needed every one of those to win.
They either went big a game or 2 games ago, I'm forgetting, but last night they went small. Devo Davis was playing the 4 as he was 2 years ago when he was a true freshman. He ended up getting 10 rebounds, which is a pretty big deal because they were just trying to be the first to the ball. They were getting beat in certain situations. And give Greensboro credit. I'm not the give credit guy too often, but those guys kept coming. They refused to give in to Arkansas. Whenever you thought the Razorbacks were going to go on a run, Greensboro came right back and hit a clutch bucket, especially late. Now, as we know, Arkansas was able to prevail. One of the best moments that we'll get into Chuck about was the and-one Nick got last night where he cut inside and had a little finger roll. It was awesome. It was pure. But these guys came to play. And something Tommy and I were talking about before the show, you're the hunted now. People are going to give your best shot every single game, and you have to be ready for that even against a team like this.
Yeah, and you're talking about scoring runs. It wasn't their biggest of the game, but it might have been the most important one of the game was the one in the last 5 minutes of the first half. Arkansas trailed by 12 with just under 5 minutes to go and cut that to 5 at the half. Without that, I just wonder where you're mentally at in the locker room. If you go in there down double digits versus 5, you felt like you had a little hope. There for a while, you were 12 minutes into this ball game and had 6 points on the board. Gross. It was just ugh.
That was horrible.
And at least, you still only had 21 in the first half. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like it was great. But you go from down 12 to down 5, you at least feel like, all right, we can do this. And Arkansas probably didn't get enough credit to holding Greensboro to 26 in the first half, but that gets overlooked when you played as miserable as you did the first 15 minutes of the first half.
Musk got asked this in the press conference, hitthatline.com, our YouTube channel as well, about ranked teams that have lost at home. There's a good chunk of them this year. This team didn't, though. I know that was not the performance you wanted last night, but they didn't lose. They came together at the end of the second half. They have found ways this season to win big and high-scoring affairs, 80-90, or win a game like that where they barely cleared 60 points.
Hey, how'd you like to win a new bike for Christmas? Champion Cycling wants you to find the joy in cycling this holiday season. That's why they're giving away a specialized road bike for an adult and for a kid. You can register at hitthatline.com. Champion Cycling has everything you need, whether you're an experienced cycler or whether you're just starting out. They got bikes, cycling apparel, accessories, and they even service bikes as well. Champion Cycling, 5500 Mazard Road in Fort Smith. Again, win a specialized road bike for an adult or a child. All the details are at hitthatline.com. The holidays are just around the corner. What is it, the 7th today, Pearl Harbor Day, and we're moving in on Christmas, 3 weeks from this Saturday. Art's Barbecue can help you feed your family this Christmas. Their pros can smoke or deep fry your ham or turkey and take care of all of that, all of the sides, rolls, pecan pies, all of it at Art's. So anything you need for work or for home, let Art's feed your family this holiday season. That's Art's Barbecue, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is former Razorback kicker Zach Hawker. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Just watching her blonde hair sunburn stare at them white caps rolling over.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call
and built in Arkansas.
6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
Unleash your inner detective at the 6 Foot Climb Murder Mystery Dinner. It's the ultimate murder mystery experience where you will enjoy a riveting night of conundrum and peril disguised as belly shaking, feet stomping, side-splitting laughter. Enjoy a scrumptious dinner coupled with some of the best entertainment in the Arkansas River Valley. The 6 Foot Climb is an experience you will never forget. Hosted at the Beard and Lady Inn in Chester, Arkansas. For tickets and more information, go to the6footclimb.com.
Cycling apparel and accessories and great service. Champion Cycling, 5500 Mazard Road in Fort Smith. Find your next ride with Champion Cycling. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
The one thing that these guys all have, this is what I think serves them best. They have a great joy in going out and playing basketball. They have different terms for it. They'll say things like, he's just balling. I know that's what they say about you, Ty, when you play. They say, Ty's just balling today.
Took a little while for the team to get in a rhythm last night. We'll talk more Arkansas basketball coming up with Chuck, but do want to talk about Barry Odom and the implications him leaving for UNLV has on this football team in just a sec.
Hey, we're brought to you by Arvest Bank this morning. Since 1961, they've had a commitment to putting the needs of their customers first. It all began as the Bank of Bentonville, and here we are more than 60 years later, and that customer-first philosophy and commitment to the communities in which you'll find them, and they're everywhere. Small-town banks, larger cities in our state, multiple states in our region. Arvest seemingly is everywhere to take care of everything from checking accounts to loans to mortgages and more. Arvest has always been committed to you and what you need, whether it's at work, treasury management services and corporate credit cards, or whether it's at home with your home checking account or your mortgage loan and mortgage services. They're there for you. Arvest Bank, always ready to help. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. You can find them online at arvest.com.
Chuck, a little tighter last night than we anticipated.
Yeah, it was. I mean, give Greensboro credit. They came to play. I think it was kind of a reminder last night that you got to be ready to play every time, because when you're a top 10 team, everybody's gunning for you, or at least the teams that you're playing. I mean, it's going to be a big game. But, these December games, sometimes you just kind of get through. You win, you go on, and I don't think a month from now anybody's going to remember this game, frankly. Now, they'll remember Saturday's game when they play Oklahoma, but I don't know about last night's game.
I would probably agree with that. So we'll come back to basketball in just a sec, but your kind of initial reaction to hearing Barry Odom's heading out to Vegas, not for a little slot machine trip, but he's going to coach some football.
Yeah, he's been there. He's there now. I guess he met with the team last night, and they'll introduce him today. I got to admit, that one surprised me yesterday. I was running around and getting ready to head to the arena and heard Derek and Zach talk about it. And, and then last night, obviously, it had become reality. So a little bit surprised by that. Not surprised that he's become a head coach somewhere, but a little bit surprised it was there, because you just don't think about UNLV around here that much.
Tom, I'm going to be honest. I didn't even think about it. You asked a great question earlier. Is he going to coach the bowl game? Is he departed? I mean, he's got the media press conference this morning, as Chuck mentioned, messed with the team last night. I'm going to guess he's not, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some clarity we're going to need to get out of this. And I was thinking, even looking at some of the details, the contract details come out early on this. It's initially just a very slight pay cut for Barry Odom to go out there.
$100,000?
It was like 1.85 versus 1.75, right, in the first year.
Is that $10,000 or $100,000?
That'd be $10,000. So, no,
it's
$100,000. It'd be $100,000. Yeah. I don't know. Guys, we're not used to dealing with numbers that
I was going to say there's a lot of zeros
right.
now. We're not used to dealing with that.
We're not. But point being, Vegas is. The cost of living there is much higher. But, Chuck, I was talking earlier, if you're going to get out of being a defensive coordinator, take the step up to head coach, and you're going to do it in a conference like the Mountain West, man, I think that's got to be, without question, the number one market in that conference. And NIL being what it is now to recruiting, man, if you're going to be in a conference like the Mountain West, I can't imagine Vegas. Who's going to beat Vegas for the availability of NIL money?
Yeah, we're just going to have to see what they do in that regard. That was one of the things I thought about was, what's their NIL situation, and you have to think about that right now, and there is some potential there. How much NIL money you have to spend is in direct correlation to how confident the people that can give you that money are in the head coach. One of the things that is interesting, I think, about this, and one of the reasons that I think ultimately they hired Barry Odom, they've not hired a head coach with any kind of head coaching experience beyond maybe a year or two since John Robinson. Odom's had more head coaching experience than anybody they've hired since John Robinson, and we played him in the Vegas Bowl when he was their coach. That's been 20 years ago. Yep. So I think that's what tipped the scales for him, honestly.
I remember being out there for that game, how cold it got in the second half of that game. Is it Sam Boyd Stadium?
Sam Boyd Stadium. There's high school teams in Texas that play in better stadiums than Sam Boyd Stadium.
And there were high school teams in Texas that played better than the Razorbacks did.
That was not
well.
a pretty game.
No,
that was a bad football game.
I remember that's one of the worst games that we've ever played.
Well, you were 7.
But specifically,
I don't think he's that old, Chuck.
Yeah, I remember as a kid that was one of the worst games that we have ever played as a football program in any capacity.
Well, let's not get carried away. It was not a good game. It was not a good show. One of the worst ever. I don't know about that. I watched them play some really bad games, but that was not a good night.
Well, how does this affect the bowl, and how does this affect the current recruiting? And Chuck, what do you think the immediate next 30 days, next 3 weeks impact is of Barry Odom in this news yesterday?
Well, I think we're going to have to find some things out today. What does this mean in terms of Arkansas's bowl prep? Lots of times coordinators do stay for the bowl game. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here. I don't know. As I say, I was in basketball mode yesterday, and I was as surprised as anybody, frankly, that he ended up going to UNLV. So, I'm not sure how that's going to play out. I'm pretty certain that Sam Pittman's going to give Barry Odom his moment. I don't think, in other words, Sam Pittman's going to comment about Barry Odom leaving until Barry Odom has his moment of being introduced as the UNLV coach. I don't know that, but that'd be my suspicion today. But I think it'll be dealt with from our perspective today as well, and I'm going to be interested to know what happens there. And if he's not coordinating it, who does? Where do you go? But I think before the day's over, we'll know the answers to those questions.
You were doing basketball last night. I don't know if you've seen the video. Either one of y'all seen the video of
I have
Barry
not
Odom
seen it. I've heard about it.
Talking to his team at UNLV. I think we got some of that audio. I didn't know we had the audio, but I thought that was interesting. His approach last night and what I heard, the parts I heard of him talking to his team.
I'm honored to be here, excited to be here, and the thing that Harp talked about, the pursuit on what they put together in trying to find the next head football coach to lead this group, the moment that I knew that this job was open, I knew that I wanted it. And I wanted it for a number of reasons because of opportunities. I watched film from last year and saw you guys play. The way that we're going to take this program and then go and compete and win championships, it starts with this core group. You guys understand that? Okay, it starts right here.
You heard Deion go into Colorado, basically tell everybody to get in the portal. He took a little bit different approach, Chuck. Hey, everybody in this room is going to be who helps build this program. I just thought that was a good juxtaposition to think about last night. Two new head coaches, different levels, different situations, but two different approaches as well.
Well, it sounds to me like Deion knows who he's bringing, and Barry Odom doesn't.
Exactly.
I mean, Deion's got his kids in the bag, and he knows who he's bringing to Boulder. But I've heard coaches do it both ways. I've heard coaches say the very same thing Deion said. Now, Deion's getting some flack for it. Guys, lots of coaches say exactly what Deion said every day. Every day at practice, somebody screws up. There's a head coach out there saying, that's all right, I got your replacement recruiting right now. If you think that doesn't happen, you're nuts. But also, Barry's in a different situation out there. It's probably in the first year, that is going to be who he leans on. But I'll be interested to see what happens out there, not just with Barry Odom and their football program, but overall the athletic program. Sports has embraced Vegas, really for the first time in my lifetime. When I was Ty's age, the thought of a pro team or any kind of professional sports presence in Las Vegas was unthinkable.
Yep.
I mean, Willie Mays got kicked out of baseball because he was a greeter at a casino out there. Sports has decided to embrace the money is what it boils down to, and that makes Vegas in. So I think UNLV as an overall program, I don't know if it's ever going to be like Tark and the Running Rebels back in the day, but I do think that they are in a position to take advantage of some things that maybe 20 years ago simply weren't there.
Well, Vegas has changed. Now they want everyone to come out and, it's a tour. It's always been a tourism deal out there, but it was a gambling first, tourism deal second. I think it's shifted, And now they want people to come in for football games, come in for college football games. They've put a lot of money in this Allegiant Stadium. That's where UNLV plays. They need people. You can get a flight from anywhere in the country there nonstop.
But there's still a slot machine in the airport. I mean,
At the gate.
It's still about gambling. It's still about gambling.
As you walk down the Skyway to the bridge to get on the plane, there's a slot machine right there.
I mean, you can play right before right before you board. That's for sure. And so, but I look at their stadium out there. It fits in the Vegas Strip. It fits in Vegas. It's a Vegas kind of stadium. It's got the glitz and the glamour and.
Yep.
Kids love that stuff, man. I mean, for better or worse, kids love that stuff.
Is he a fit though? I mean, when you juxtapose him and Ed Ogeron for Vegas,
let's not act like this is a football school and that fit's important.
I realize that, but what you said earlier makes sense. The Vegas appeal, the Vegas aspect.
Yeah.
There's not a college in the Mountain West that has anything like the appeal that Vegas does.
I think you got to understand though. When you live in Vegas, you work in Vegas, you're there long term, you're not a tourist. You're not on the Strip. You're not going to the buffet at the Bellagio on a Tuesday afternoon. That's what we do when we go. When you live there, it's a whole different experience, Chuck.
Well, a couple of points there. If they'd hired Ed Ogeron, they'd had to fire him in 2 years. Just Ed Ogeron in Vegas. It'd be fun for us. I don't think it'd be fun for his boss, to be real honest about it. But, Vegas is a different animal. I mean, they don't keep building those places because people are coming out there and beating them. I mean, you can people talk about dreams are made in Vegas. Well, gambling's ruined a lot of people too if you don't handle it the right way. And so I wonder what it would be like, or what it will be like. When we read the reports of what it was like when Tark and the Running Rebels had it going in basketball, man, it was a free for all. And I don't know what it'll be like, but I don't know that
legal now though.
Yeah, everything's legal now. I don't know that fit's always important, but I think culture's an overused term, but I think that's most important. I think that was Barry Odom's greatest value to Sam Pittman. Greatest value was, what he brought in that regard. And if you've heard him work a room before, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, he can make you run through a wall, and he'll do that out there too. But it's obviously a much different situation than what he's been in.
How important is it right now in this moment, guys, for Sam Pittman to hang on to Kendall Briles? That Kendall Briles isn't the next story, that he's moving on to a different opportunity elsewhere. How important is that stability and continuity today for Sam Pittman?
Well, I think only he can answer that, but I think when you lose your defensive coordinator, you certainly don't want to lose your OC on the heels of that. He's very valuable. I know this. I mean, he's your quarterback coach, number one, and KJ's coming back. So, I can't answer whether or not it's the most important thing out there right now, but it's certainly something you think about, when your defensive coordinator leaves.
I just think about the stability, but also think about the look. It's just, I would think as the head coach, if both coordinators, I hate to use the word bail, but they leave on you.
Well, you're not bailing to become a head coach. If Kendall Briles leaves and he's going to take the OC job, and I'm just pulling schools out of there. Let's say he takes the OC job at Auburn.
Yeah.
Well, then he bailed on you.
You're right. I used the wrong term, but it's just it's a hard look, I think, and a hard explanation when you're replacing both coordinators.
Does your opinion change if he takes a head coach relative to an OC job like
that?
Sure. It should.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you confident he's
I'm just saying it puts Sam in a tough spot regardless of the situation, the circumstance.
To your question, I'll pose this question. Are you confident he's going to stay? Are you confident he's not going to get poached?
I honestly, I didn't think Barry Odom was leaving
36
hours ago.
I mean, that's a pointed question that none of us can answer.
Yeah.
I mean, to say, am I confident Kendall Briles is going to stay? Well, Kendall didn't call me up and tell me what he's going to do. Barry Odom didn't call us up and say, hey, guys, I'm thinking about taking the UNLV job. You think I'm a fit? I mean, these guys are going to decide what they're going to do. I think Arkansas is in a position from a financial perspective to keep anybody they want to keep.
Well,
I do think that. Now, they may want to go somewhere else, but from a financial standpoint, they can keep anybody that they're bound and determined to keep.
Yeah, and we were talking about this before you got on, Chuck. Where Barry Odom's at in life, just turned 46, but he's had 20 years of coaching experience, 4 years of being a head coach at Missouri. He's built up a nest. He's not worried about his 401k at this point. He's had 20 working years under his belt. Kendall Brow's in a little bit different situation. I'm not saying he's not doing okay, but he doesn't have he didn't have the number of years under his belt, and it built that up. He's raising a young family. I just think where he's at in life versus where Barry Odom's at in life, there's two different things that you got to consider when you're looking at jobs.
Well, right, and if it's money, he's not leaving.
Right.
I mean, unless he becomes head coach.
Because clearly the money wasn't the number one thing with Barry Odom because he's leaving for, $100,000 less.
Well, 1.75, 1.85, still plenty. And generally with head coaches, you've got hidden money.
That salary's going up, too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you've got some hidden money there.
It's built in to increase years 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Well, there's also money you never hear about. So, I mean, that stuff happens, too.
Yeah.
Well,
table. You know what season it is now, right?
What's coaching carousel?
You know what
season
it is? It's plane tracking season.
Oh,
You're gonna have all these Arkansas fans that are monitoring every plane that goes into Drake, that goes into XNA, that goes into Little Rock. They're gonna monitor everything for
coordinators,
whether it's for Dude, have you met Arkansas fans?
I've never. Everybody does that. Everybody does that. It's people with too much time on their hands and a little bit too much obsession.
But I love it. I mean, you're going to see. We had Rowdy text in earlier asking about Gary Patterson. I know Jim Leonard's not going to be coaching past the bowl game. The Wisconsin defensive coordinator took over as interim head coach. There's people who think, just put Michael Scher in there. This is going to be fun. I like this
Michael
part.
Scher will be in Vegas.
I would expect
Barry
him to
Odom.
go with Barry Odom, but this part is going to be fun. Now, we said this earlier. Brett's second wave of staff sucked. He didn't hire a good second staff. Sam is now presented with, you just lost your guy, probably your closest compadre on your coaching staff. You got to go make a good hire. This is going to tell a lot about Sam Pittman, as you said earlier, Tommy. If he has a quality enough reputation, which we think he does, we're going to see in the coaching carousel if he can get someone of substance to coach this defense next year.
Well, he needs to get the best defensive coach, not the guy that's going to please all the people watching. Look, Hunter Yurachek hired Sam Pittman to be his head football coach. A lot of people like Sam Pittman, but let's be honest, when you were talking about tracking planes, we weren't talking about where's Sam Pittman's plane going. We weren't talking about that.
Where's Athens? Where's that?
We weren't, you got to hire the best coach for your situation, and, he will certainly do that. And I think that, we've seen with his strength situation. I mean, there were local favorites, but he hired the guy that he thought could do the best job. And that's what you have to do when you're a head coach. Guys, it's a season of giving. And this is, for a lot of people, man, it's the best time of the year. And it's that way at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. One of the things they do every year is the company and their participating agents donate money to Arkansas Children's Northwest. They take a portion of their proceeds from the close and they donate that to Arkansas Children's Northwest. They've donated over $235,000 over the last few years. That's a lot of money. That's difference-making money, and that's the kind of people that you're going to deal with when you deal with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Now, I know that ultimately, from your perspective, if you're a buyer or seller, you want to get the best price for your home if you're selling, and you want to get the best price if you're buying too. The art of negotiation is important in the real estate game, and they understand that at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. These are the most well-trained agents in the business. I think your experience will be like my experience. You'll be completely satisfied. They've got an office in Fayetteville. They're in Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith, Branson, Missouri. You see those yellow signs everywhere, and you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
The basketball last night, I know I asked you this question. When are we going to start seeing it shrink in the lineup? Tommy, we didn't see it last night. I think Pinion and Mikal Mitchell were the only ones that did not participate in last night's game outside the walk-ons. I think 11 of the 13 guys. So you got the thing in front of you. 10. Okay, whoever else the other one is. But I was kind of surprised to see a lot of guys get in there last night. I guess it was Barry Dunny Jr. is the other one that didn't play.
Yeah, and you had Trevin Brazil, and that's going to be the other key thing that comes out of this.
The
big story is Trevin Brazil and what's his health. And Chuck, I mean, maybe later today, maybe I don't know when we're going to get an update, but that did not look good as he's being helped off down the tunnel, headed to the locker room.
I'm sure they'll do a lot of things today in terms of not just trying to find out exactly what's happened, but chart a course in terms of what his rehab's going to be like. I know they said last night that the thought was it was not terribly serious, which, is always easy to say about somebody else. But, we'll just have to see. Might be today, might be tomorrow. Could be one of those day-to-day things where, you just deal with this for a little while. But I think we'll know more today.
First 12, 15 minutes of this game was just horrendous. I mean, give Greensboro credit. They put some defense on Arkansas that forced some issues. Arkansas got in their own way with turnovers. But that first 15 minutes was just horrendous, Chuck.
I think they thought they were going to do in the first half what they did in the second half against San Jose State. I mean, they were, they got a lot of open looks from three against San Jose State and knocked them down. And all of a sudden, man, everything was flowing. They were shooting 70% in the second half. So I think that little carryover there. I think they were gunning a little too much. Musk said it after the game. When you're not making threes, you might not, ought to shoot so many. They put 18 up last night. And the thing that, we talked about, Z talked about a lot, was that, it wasn't like these were like spot-up threes where you're an inch or two beyond the line and you're shooting within the framework of your offense. You had NBA threes. You had guys shooting 28, 30-footers last night. You're not going to make very many of those.
There was one.
And, I thought they got a little trigger happy early on and got away from what they do.
There was one trip where Devo comes up on that left side and he pulls with, there was probably 26 or 5 on the shot clock. Those aren't the – and you can just see the reaction from us over there. I hope your crowd mic wasn't too hot.
He was beside himself.
Yeah.
One of the stats that you look at in the modern era of basketball is paint points. We used to look at it because you wondered how the big men were doing. Now you do it to get an indication of who's attacking the basket and who's not. Arkansas is generally pretty dominant in that area. They were +4 last night, 28-24. Not bad, good enough to win, obviously, but that's not their game. When you put up 18 three-pointers and you're only +4 in paint points, that means this team did not do what it does best. And I think that's what you'll see him correct by Saturday.
He did get 27 free throw attempts in the second half relative to 6 in the first half, so there was at least a change.
They started attacking.
Yeah.
They started attacking.
Kept on changing that. They are lowest halftime total of the season at 21. Tommy, we mentioned the 8-minute drought earlier. And this team, I had some Morning Rush listeners text me that they played to their level of competition at points this season. Against the really good teams, I think they've shown up. Against a team last night, they didn't play that great. And now you're going against an Oklahoma team that drilled you last year, and you want to have a good showing on Saturday.
Yeah.
I wouldn't read too much into last night.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't.
Nick Smith with nearly 39 minutes. We've been told he doesn't have a minutes restriction, but would you say he's, at least from a physical standpoint, he's 100% at this point, Chuck?
I don't know if he's 100%. He's obviously better at whatever percent he is than most guys are at 100%. I don't know if he's 100%. I know that he's still working from the mental aspect defensively, but physically he seems to be getting better every time he's out there.
All right, we'll get more into the game from last night. Also, maybe look ahead for just a second at the Arkansas-Oklahoma game and more on Barry Odom. Leaving Arkansas as the defensive coordinator to be the head coach at UNLV. We're brought to you by Kevin Hickey and his team at the Kevin Hickey Law Partners. Brad Hull, Kevin Hickey, always there to take care of any kind of issue you need, whether it's a family law or a business contract issue. Maybe you're remodeling a home and you're at odds with the contractor, or maybe you're the contractor at odds with the homeowner. They're there for you. Contract law, family law, and lots more. 479-434-2414 in the River Valley. 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. They're coming soon to Central Arkansas as well. You can find them online at kevinhickeylaw.com.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk, as Tommy said, about Barry Odom. Also want to mention a certain linebacker declaring for the NFL draft and the impact it will have on this Liberty Bowl coming up. Hour number 2 of a What's Your Beef Wednesday is next on the Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Garvey.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Sing along with me. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Leaves are everywhere. Something like that. Now, actually, the leaves aren't everywhere. They're in one of two places. There's a ton of them that are in your yard, and the other half, they're in your gutters. And with the weight of all those leaves when wet, plus the muck and mud and shingle grit that's already there, man, that's a recipe for disaster. Now, let old Chef Roger help you out with what's cooking at Leaf Guard of Arkansas. The first 20 folks that call and get set up will get 75% off labor on a whole house job. 75% off! Plus, you may also be eligible for 18 months of no-interest financing. So, if having the only true one-piece covered gutter system on the market wasn't already the best gift in a while, now it's 75% off labor on a whole house job and no-interest financing for 18 months has put it in the running with a new car, a deer rifle, or a puppy as best gift ever. Call Leaf Guard at 501-664-5400 or visit leafguardandmore.com.
The new lotto game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is creating new traditions for our players, like Vic from Texarkana.
For lotto, I always play multiples of 7. It ain't math. That's just how many times I've been kicked by a horse. How's that lucky, you say? Well, I'm still here, ain't I?
Your numbers, your game. Play Lotto every Wednesday and Saturday for your chance to match 6 and get rich. Only $2 per play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Lucky number 7.
Bite this network with an urgent weekend morning update. You can go back to sleep. That's right, relax. Because Hardee's now serves their new Super Biscuit sandwiches every day and until noon on weekends. So you can rise and dine with a whole lot of meat on a made-from-scratch biscuit. More on this whenever you wake up and get back from Hardee's. Bite into the new Super Sausage and Super Bacon Biscuits only at Hardee's. For a limited time at participating Hardee's. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
Ho, ho, ho! Who's your Santa, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and I'm tired of bad secret Santa gifts. So this year, I'm everyone's not-so-secret Santa. Bring me your old ride, and I'll give you up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value. That's a whole lot more for your trade. So this season, don't exchange gifts. Exchange your old ride for something nicer and newer from our huge selection of Rath road-ready vehicles, and you could get up to $4,000 more than it's worth. Keeping the car you have? Let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection. Half off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Plus, check out our inflation-beating Meineke vehicle service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They make great stocking stuffers. So let me be your not-so-secret Santa. And you could get up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value for your old ride. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized dealer in the River Valley. You might know us as your source for large Xerox multifunction or production printers. But for many of you, your needs have changed. Smaller equipment has become more necessary, and we are here to help. We carry the Xerox desktop models, but also brother workhorse printers and multifunctions with 3-year replacement warranties included. So give us a call at 479-783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document solutions to the River Valley.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front-row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Champion Cycling wants to help you find the joy in cycling that's been a part of their family for many years. Whether you're a child getting your first bike, an adult who hasn't been on a bike in years, or someone who's looking to podium at their next race, Champion Cycling wants to help you find the right bike. A great selection of bikes, cycling apparel, and accessories, and great service. Champion Cycling, 5500 Mazard Road in Fort Smith. Find your next ride with Champion Cycling. ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, clouds, a chance of seeing some showers, a few thunderstorms. Our high temperatures today into the upper 50s north, mid 60s south. Rain picks up in intensity. We could see some periods of moderate to heavy rain at times, an overnight low in the low 50s. Showers with a chance of thunderstorms with heavy downpours on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Second free throw's good, and that's it. 0.2 to play. They'll inbound it. The horn will sound, and Arkansas escapes. Eric Musselman, very complimentary of Mike Jones as they meet at midcourt.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatOne.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. If Arkansas would have lost that basketball game last night, I know that would have beef of everyone this morning. Luckily, they pulled it out in the end. Maybe your beef is the fact that Barry Odom is going to UNLV to coach the Running Rebels and that football team. We'll talk about that, plus Drew Sanders entering his name in the NFL draft, not playing the bowl game, an impact that will have on this team in the bowl game.
Brought to you by Umbrella, Flash Mob Jr., and Pradco this morning. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing this time of the year, or you're looking for the perfect holiday gift for that hard-to-shop outdoorsman or that lady that likes to get on the water, the Umbrella, Flash Mob Jr., it's the best lure for duplicating small schools of shad. Can be worked from the top water column all the way to the bottom. It will help you catch a bunch of bass and stripers as well. It's the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Guys, no surprise to see Drew is heading towards the NFL draft. Mel Kiper right now has him mocked at 17. Now, I know that's not what his draft grade potentially will be. Hopefully it's higher than that. We'll have to wait and see. But kind of the impact this will have on this bowl game with Bumper out, Drew out. So you're going to look at Christopher Paul, Jordan Crook, and some of the other young guys that are on this roster to play linebacker.
Jackson Woodard will probably play some. I mean, you're going to have to, you're going to have to find some guys to man that spot. And, Paul's fine. I don't think there's any issue there with Pooh Paul at all. He was going to take somebody's job eventually anyway. He's that good. Jordan Crook's played a lot. He's going to get a chance to play a lot more. And Woodard will, and, we're going to have to we may have to pull out some names we've not pulled out this year at that spot. But, when you've got good players, you're going to lose players. That's just how it works. And, we're better off for having had Ricky Stromberg. We're better for having had Drew Sanders. And, you better go get 2 more just like him now, or at least just as good. That's easier said than done, but you got to go out and you got to replace him now.
As the picture starts to come into focus a little more day by day on who's going to be available to play in this game, perhaps who's even going to be available to coach in this game, how much weight should we put on the outcome of this game? Last year, Penn State was just gutted with injuries and problems. They didn't have their players. Arkansas wins that game. No one talks about that aspect. This year, Arkansas is going to be maybe closer to what Penn State was last year personnel-wise. I know we're not going to stop fans from jumping up and down and jumping off bridges if they lose this game, but Chuck, there's a lot of things that got me concerned about who you can put on the field for this bowl game.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, if they lose, is going to say, well, they didn't have their guys. That's okay.
No, I think we lost Chuck.
With every year. If you've got good players.
Say that again,
now,
Chuck.
If you got a bunch of players,
say that again. We lost
matter.
We lost
But if you got good players, it's going to matter.
Say that again. We lost you for a second. If you can hear me now.
He can't hear us because he's mad. All right, so what Chuck was saying is, again, to his point, if you have good players, you're going to lose them. You got to recruit guys in. Transfer portal's been big. We've already got one guy that's committed to this football program from Florida, a guy that Coach Pittman recruited when he was at Georgia. You need to continually bring in pieces. We know how good Drew Sanders was. That was the prize of this past recruiting class as a transfer portal guy. He lived up to expectations. He was an absolute beast at linebacker, sacks, just kind of filling in alongside Bumper Pool, and you needed that after losing Hayden Henry and Grant Morgan this past year.
Yeah, and so, Arkansas is Chuck can give us more of a longer-term historical look at it, but as far as where you've been, that lineage you just walked through, that's probably as good a where you passed it from one group to the next as you've been in a long time at linebacker. Arkansas really hasn't had that consistency at that spot for a while.
Let's take a call real quick, 877-377-6963. Charlie is in Camden. Charlie, go ahead, man. You're on the Morning Rush.
What's up, guys? As far as the beef with Barry Odom, I don't have any. I wish him well. I think he did a great job. We look back, and I know people are going crazy this year. It wasn't the best year, but guys, I remember this team when we were 2-10, and we were getting blown out by Western Kentucky. So my brain just, this coaching staff has done a really good job, to be honest. I know this year didn't go as planned. It just, injuries, but you lost 4 games by, I don't know, was it a combined 10 points? So, it is what it is. And I wish Barry well. As far as the portal goes, it's crazy when you think about it. Drew Sanders, Ty, you made the point. He not only increased his draft stock, but he bet on himself when he entered that portal and came here, because Alabama wasn't going to move him to inside linebacker and let him show that he could do that. And so he moved himself into a first-round pick, and he kind of bet on himself. And that's just kind of how the portal is now. It's like a free agency in the off season, so everybody's going to enter it when they want to, and then. Is it, Tommy, you can only enter it once and then play the next year, right?
And then
is that how it works? And then if you enter it again, you got to sit out.
If you're a grad transfer, you can do it again with no penalty in addition to what you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just wanted to make that clear. Now, as far as what we've gotten from the portal the last couple of years, it's worked out for us, and I think it's going to work out again. We're going to lose players too. It just is what it is. I hate that Keytron's gone, but we're going to be fine. The basketball team last night, guys, I know they said on the telecast, Trayvon Brazile, when he took that, cut or whatever it was, and it just kind of, I was really worried, one of those non-contact injuries that could be bad. But they said that they didn't think it was long-term. I'm hoping it's just like a sprain or something and he's okay. Is that what you guys have kind of heard? And also, as far as what happened last night, it's going to happen, especially to a young team. You're not just going to go out there every night and blow everybody out. It's still, I know everybody's kind of worried about last night, but they didn't shoot well, and they didn't really play their best defense either, and they still won. So they'll be okay. And I just hope Trayvon, for his future, is not out for an extended period of time, and for this team, because they do need him.
You asked about an update. Musk said after the game, no update on that. I don't know if we'll get one this week. I'm hoping it's not long-term, but we don't. I wouldn't read too much into last night, them saying right after the game, because I think there's a lot of prognosis you got to do.
Chuck, it looked like when you watch the replay, he slipped. He lost his footing, and then the knee buckled sideways. So, like I said, we don't have all the details.
Yeah, it looked like one foot. I don't know if he stepped on the guy's foot or if they just kind of, came together. And then the other leg, he just kind of, he just buckled right there if you watch the replay.
Almost like there was a wet spot or something on the floor and his foot slid out. So.
I know that, I'm kind of like you, Ty. I sort of wonder, when people say things during the game, not going to be long-term, is going to be long-term. There are times when but lots of times, even when a player's day-to-day, one of the big things is how does he respond tomorrow to what you put him through today. And so I don't know that we're going to get real definitive word today, but we may have a much better idea.
Hey, we're brought to you by Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms. They provide every type of dental procedure that you and your family may need, whether it's general dentistry to get your teeth cleaned and the x-rays, or braces, implants, cosmetics, whitening. They do all of that. Dr. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives and a better smile, make you more confident, more comfortable in every situation. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms, 226-3500 for an appointment, or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
All right, we're going to get into our Morning Rush daily question when we come back. For all you Cowboys fans out there, you guys want to sign Odell Beckham Jr.? How much do you want the former LSU wide receiver? We'll get into that question next.
Listen online at hitthatline.com.
Thanks, Ty. Tommy, enjoy your show.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Hey, it's Jan from Toyota, reminding you that Toyotathon is on. And here to help make your holidays extra magical. How? Maybe it's driving in a Tacoma in search of the perfect hill to sled down. Cruising around the neighborhood in a Camry to go caroling. Popping from store to store in a Prius to find the perfect gift.
You did it. How'd you know?
Or it could be something much more simple, like surprising loved ones in a RAV4 hybrid.
You made it! What a surprise! Bobby, you're all grown up!
And seeing their faces light up when you pull up to their home. Stop by Toyotathon and make this holiday one to remember with an exciting new Toyota, like Highlander, Corolla, Tundra, and more. It's the perfect opportunity to gather with your friends and family, both near and far.
Dealer inventory may vary. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 3rd. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, and football is in the air, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Frank Rowe Furniture December tax-free Christmas sale. Frank Rowe Furniture carries made-in-the-USA furniture, including Catnapper, Jackson, and Best Home Furnishings, just to name a few. Frank Rowe Furniture also carries made-in-the-USA Speed Queen washers and dryers, and December is the month to buy. They have slashed their prices more than ever before and no sales tax. Frank Rowe Furniture wants to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and celebrate our Savior, Jesus Christ. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house, 405 Fort Street, Farley.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
What's the room again?
1080, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Hey, don't touch that. It's gross.
Here we are. Got the key?
You have them.
Oh, great. It's not working.
Try flipping it over.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Okay.
Why can't we go inside?
Bring it over.
I'm tired. Oh my gosh.
Give me yours.
Really? You have mine.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really?
I'm tired. Oh my
Just try
gosh.
to.
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Breeden RV, Highway 64 between Alma and Van Buren.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Champion Cycling, located at 5500 Massard Road, is a locally owned bike shop in Fort Smith that wants to help you find the joy in cycling that has been a part of their family for years. Their goal is to find the right bike for you, whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure. Champion Cycling is totally stocked and has a large selection of bikes, including brands from Specialized, Pivot, and Look. Whether it's fixing a flat tire or a basic tune-up, their dependable service department is always ready to help. Stop by Champion Cycling today at 5500 Massard Road, and they will help you find your joy in cycling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
All right, Chuck. So Jerry signed Odell Beckham Jr. They've been courting him. Took him to a Mavs game either last night or the night before with Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons.
Glad to see they're trying to keep it quiet.
They're not. He's Jerry. When has Jerry ever been quiet? Should Dallas sign Odell Beckham Jr.?
Well, it depends on how physically able he is to play now. I read yesterday where, it might be the postseason before he could play. Now, is 1 or 2 plays that could make the difference in a game worth millions of dollars to your franchise if you can get to the Super Bowl? Absolutely. But from what I read, from what I hear, I'm not sure that they got all the satisfactory answers that they wanted from a physical standpoint. And I think that's the debate, is do you sign a guy like that you might only have in the postseason? Having said that, again, if Odell Beckham helps you get to the Super Bowl, it's worth every penny. So that's the dilemma. They're playing pretty well right now, but, he's a great player. He's a great receiver, and sometimes one plays the difference in getting there and not getting there.
He had a torn left ACL, and the report you're talking about is from Ed Werder, who's saying it hasn't necessarily progressed enough. That's something they're concerned about. But he was, if you go back and look at those Los Angeles Rams games that you're talking about, he was the difference between them probably making and winning the Super Bowl than even not been signed by that football team.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
And Jerry always talks, he's kind of like what you said about Teen Boo Pickens yesterday. If money can buy a national championship, by golly, we're going to try it. Money is not going to get away from Jerry winning a Super Bowl.
Well, that's not the issue here. That's not the issue here. The issue is his health. Yeah. It's not money. Do we want him? Can he help us? It's is he healthy enough to play?
But Jerry, by nature, is a risk taker. He's an oil and gas man. He likes to gamble on stuff, and I don't know how much of a risk this is or isn't. And you're risking a lot of money, but that's the thing I always think about with Jerry. He's willing to roll the dice, and this sounds like a situation where you got a player that's iffy health-wise, Chuck. I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry's willing to roll the dice here.
I don't know if you roll the dice on health. Yes, I agree, Gary. I mean, Jerry's a riverboat gambler. I mean, that's his personality, and if Odell Beckham's 100%, yeah, he signs him. He pays whatever he has to pay. Jerry's never been afraid to pay. It hasn't always worked, but he's never been afraid to pay. So if Beckham's healthy enough to help him, they'll sign him. If they determine he's not, they won't. If they don't sign Odell Beckham Jr., it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. It just purely has to do with health.
So you brought up the kind of timeline. If he can't play until the playoffs, do you think that they're going to sign him, or is it does Jerry and that staff?
Well, that's the question right now, because apparently that is the soonest that he can play.
Mid-January.
And, my thought again is if you get to that point, or if you feel confident that he will actually be able to help you then you certainly consider it. And I don't think money will be the deciding factor there. I think this is a 100% health situation, and they're going to have to make some hard determinations there. But if he's healthy enough to play, I don't care when it is, you sign him.
All right, that's your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by V's Barbershop with 2 locations in Rogers and Bentonville. Visit V's Barbershop online at vbarbershop.com or in person and see why V's is a cut above the rest.
You know, I know it takes certain guys time to develop, but watching Mekhi Mitchell and the stuff he was doing before the preseason and regular season stuff, I didn't think he was going to play a lot this year. And I think that now you see another double-double performance out of them. Guys, he's definitely going to be a key piece to this team if they're going to have success in the postseason the way he's played as of late.
He's a good player. I mean, if we've not heard of a guy, we sometimes think, well, he's not going to play that much. The truth is none of us watched practice. None of us knew what he was doing. None of us had any idea. We were just basing it on the fact, hadn't heard much about that guy. But he's a good player. He runs the floor. He's big. He's got a wide, not a wide body per se, but he's got some girth. I mean, he's thick, and he can, he can move people around in there. But I like the way he runs the floor. I think he's got good hands. He can catch the ball. He can catch the ball and put it up on the move. And you don't always see that. I think his footwork's really, really good for a 6'9" guy. And, you always like to see him get more offensive rebounds. But, he goes up and gets the ball. I mean, he's quick to the glass, and he doesn't fumble it around either. When he gets his hands on it, most of the time he brings it in.
How'd Monday night go with Mekhi and Mikel?
Oh, they were good. They were both good. They were very, very good. They, there's a bond, and I'm not breaking any news here. There's a bond between twins that the rest of us can't explain. And they certainly have that. And I found out Mekhi was 2 minutes older. 2 minutes older than Mikel. They do have a history of twins in their family, by the way. They had twins for the other side last night, too. It's an interesting deal. They said something that I had never thought about. One of the reasons they were attracted to Arkansas is because Muss had coached twins before. I guess he had some out at Nevada. And, I got to thinking about this. When you're coaching twins, what you say to one, you're saying to both. Whatever action you take to one, you're taking to both. Because there is that bond, there's that connection that the rest of us just cannot explain. And I hadn't ever really thought about that before. But I would imagine coaching twins is a little bit different than just coaching brothers, for example. But that's an interesting dynamic. But those are interesting kids. And as one of them said, Fayetteville's a whole lot different from Washington, D.C., where they grew up, and they enjoy it here. They've been welcomed, and, for guys from a faraway place to walk into a restaurant in Arkansas and have everybody clap for you the minute you walk in, that's pretty heady stuff, and I think these guys enjoy that.
Washington, D.C.'s got really good high school basketball, really, really good prep basketball, and you just want – and that just – I think you
get tough kids.
You speak to we got to be tough to be in Washington anymore, but you just got to give credit to Muss because I don't remember a lot. Maybe you do, Chuck. Top of my head, how many players you remember coming to Arkansas from Washington D.C.?
Yeah, it's so much more of a national game now. Guys want to go where they think the coach and the program can get them to the NBA. We focus on things like, well, I got a chance to go to the Final Four. They're focused on, I got a chance to play for money. I got a chance to provide for my family. A lot of these kids, they're going to be the first one to be able to provide for their family in that fashion. That's what they're thinking about. Yeah. So, and look, when you're good, you recruit nationally. When you're okay, you recruit just in your own backyard, unless you're in a major area where you got a lot of talent to pull from. If you're a national program, you go from coast to coast. And That's what they're doing right now.
Well, our own backyard hadn't been too bad as of late.
No, I'm not saying that, but
I didn't say you were.
The national programs recruit coast to coast.
Now, let's just think about it lately. Who you brought in? You've got a kid from Justin Smith, Indiana. You got Jalen Tate from Northern Kentucky. You got Bayfall from Denver. You got 2 kids from Texas this year, Barry Dunny from Alabama. They got Stanley Amude up in South Dakota. I mean, they're, as Chuck's saying, they're going everywhere. It's all, but as you just said, Layden Blocker, 5-star kid, Arkansas. Nick Smith, number 1 player in the country, Arkansas. Devo Davis, top 4-star kid. Jalen Williams, top. You have something
Moody,
in basketball,
Joe.
yeah. And what is going to be interesting to watch with Arkansas basketball these next couple of years is how many kids pull the Moses Moody, KK Robinson route where they go play at a prep school, and then who pulls the Nick Smith route where they just stay at home in high school the next couple of years. You can always come back, but I am curious to see what that looks like in Arkansas high school basketball the next few years.
Oh, I think that's situation to situation. I don't know that. Now, I do think that going to the prep schools is the end thing now. That's the end thing now. A lot of it, I can't help but believe, has to do with the fact that your number one focus when you go to a lot of these prep schools is basketball. I mean, let's be honest. That's your number one focus when you go there. And but if you are in the district or if you play for a public school program that's a traditional program like North Little Rock High School is, and you win championships and you're traveling around and you're basically doing the same things they do at these prep schools, those kids will stay where they are. But, most of the time, every time you fill out a roster, every time you fill out a spotting board for a game, you got 2 or 3 guys that prepped it, that went to prep school. And, I think a lot of it is when they go there, the number one focus becomes basketball.
Well, this weekend they play in Tulsa, and they're not just playing Oklahoma in Tulsa again, Chuck, because it's a cool NBA-style arena, even though they don't have an NBA team there. They're doing it to get exposure, and what's a good market over there. What's got to go different this year? Arkansas had a tough day against Oklahoma a year ago when they played at the BOK Center.
Yeah, I mean, most of the players are gone. I mean, the only ones that are back are Devo and Kamani, so it's a different Razorback team. We're still the same. I mean, the fans are still the same. We're all the same people that watched it last year. Mm-hmm. Players that are, generally speaking, going to be deciding the game, at least for Arkansas, weren't here. The coaches were, though, obviously, and they remember what happened. Muss is kind of, I'll be honest with you, I don't focus on the next opponent until the previous game's done. I just don't do it like that. But, apparently Oklahoma's got a lot of the same guys back. They got a lot of players back. They've been okay during the start of the season. It's non-conference basketball in December. Pretty much anything can happen. I mean, Arkansas got boat raced over there last year, went to the Elite Eight. It's not always an indicator of how the rest of the way is going to go, but it'd be nice to beat them after what happened last year. That's for sure.
Trying to look up what they've done. They were 6-2, and I'm sure they played.
They beat Ole Miss the other night in the finals of a tournament. I watched part of that game.
Yeah, they lost to Sam Houston State early in the year, but then you look at Sam Houston and where they're at in the net ranking, and that doesn't look like a bad loss. They beat Pine Bluff. They've played South Alabama won. Seton Hall, they beat them back around Thanksgiving. Villanova was a loss for them this past weekend in that conference challenge they played in, and then they beat UMKC from up in Kansas City by 20 last night. So Arkansas is their next game as well. So they got UCA, by the way, coming up on the 17th, where Central Arkansas will go there. So 6-2, I guess 7-2 now after the win last night.
They'll be a good team. I mean, they'll be good. It'll be a competitive game. I don't think that anybody should expect Arkansas to go over there and roll over them. It'll be a good crowd. That was a fun atmosphere last year. Just went the wrong way in terms of score.
We got to remember Porter Moser won at Loyola Chicago. He's a good solid coach, and
they did pretty well at UALR too.
Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be any back down from this basketball team. Arkansas is going to have to come ready to play. But I like what you said earlier, Chuck, and I think most people agree. Last night was kind of a one-off. I don't expect the team to. I mean, you have a couple of those games a year where you just don't play well. They didn't play well last night, but at the end of the day, you won that basketball game, and I think they'll play a lot better in Tulsa on Saturday. And I expect it to be a pretty Arkansas-heavy crowd based on the way that you've been this season.
Well, and Chuck, you get more of these calls than probably I do, but I've had a multitude of calls, people looking for tickets for the Bradley game in Little Rock. Those are hard to find any good seats, apparently, because I've had, I don't know, half a dozen, 6-8 calls in the last week or so. Just people, hey, do you know of any? I think it's kind of a similar situation for the BOK Center. So these offside or neutral side or whatever you want to call them games, fans are showing up for them. They want to go.
I've come to appreciate those games for the reason that you just said, because it's more of an event as opposed to just another game. Generally, I can tell you when Arkansas has gone to when the Razorbacks play in North Little Rock, it's an event. I mean, it's an event. It's a different crowd, much different crowd than what you get in Fayetteville, and I like these games. The game in Tulsa is great for Arkansas fans. There'll be a lot of people flood over there. There will be people that will plan going to this ball game in Tulsa before they'll plan to go to a Wednesday night game at Bud Walton Arena, and that's just the truth because it has more of an event flavor to it. And I think it's going to be a good crowd. I think there'll be more Arkansas people there were last year. I think there'll be a few more this year, but I like having both fan bases there. It gives you that NCAA tournament feel.
I think you're going to have a lot of families where the guys will go to the game and the ladies are going to go Christmas shopping. I think you're going to see a lot of that where couple families go together, or you're going to see a lot.
Hey, I know a lot of wives that are more rabid than their husbands, so I'm not going to say every one of them is going to be doing that.
You're right, but there's a lot of them that are probably more rabid about shopping too.
Maybe so.
Tulsa, hey.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is Tulsa a good spot to shop? I've never been out, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's good shop. I'm just saying,
a little shopping malls.
My wife ain't found many malls she doesn't like. So
I'll tell you, the best place to shop is your iPad. That's the best place to shop right there.
Chuck said Jeff Bezos.
That's my
Amazon,
recipe for a good Christmas is shop on your iPad.
Yeah.
Guys, I appreciate full service. That's one of the things I like about V's Barbershop. They are a full-service barbershop, and that means they do a lot more than just cut your hair. This is kind of a ritual. If you grew up, and most of us did, going to the barbershop, I mean, it kind of makes you think about a simpler day. Real barber chairs, old-fashioned hot lather, straight-edge razor shaves. V's Barbershop really does set a new standard for barbershops. Haircuts, they service seniors, children, edge up, shampoo, anything you need done, basically. They'll trim your mustache, take care of your beard, straight razor shave, hot leather. They've got spots where they'll shine your shoes too. So it's a good place. Now, they're in Northwest Arkansas and in Central Arkansas. They've got 2 spots in Northwest Arkansas. They're on Southwest 14th Street in Bentonville. That's just west of 71B. They're also in the Pleasant Crossing Shopping Center in Rogers. If you're in Central Arkansas, they're on Cantrell Road in Little Rock and out on Chenal Parkway too. Or you can log on to vbarbershop.com.
I think Sam Pittman knew Barry Odom was going to take a job in the offseason. You heard on the teleconference that, Barry Odom's right here with me at this official visit. Was this unexpected for Coach Pittman?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, they've been together. I mean, they talk. They're confidants. I don't think, I doubt if he was blindsided by it.
No, I mean, I think at least from the outside looking in, they appear to have more than just a boss and employee relationship. They seem to have a friendship and a trust in each other. At least that's what they want to project, I think, to the world. So I would think that Barry Odom's kind of kept him in the loop. And Barry Odom also understands as a head coach when someone on your staff is looking at an opportunity, he probably understands the value and the appreciation the head coach will have for being in the loop on that. So I would guess he's kept him in the loop the whole way.
If that's the case, do you think Sam has a pretty good list of the guys that he's going to go after at this point, if on that basis?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, look for – everybody's starting to throw out names. People are just throwing random names out, at this point. We're getting text on them. I mean, to me, I always go back, and it's hard to sometimes trace until you really know somebody and where they're going. Look at those connections. You might go back and find someone with a tie to that Georgia staff that he was on. You might go back and find some guys that have, for coordinator spots, he's going to hire that he's crossed paths with along the ways. That's generally, Chuck, where these hires are made.
No doubt about it. I mean, most of the time you're going to hire someone that you're familiar with. We look at
just the movement of players right now. A lot of these guys, not all of them, but a lot of these guys, when they move from one place to the other, they go play for a school where one of the coaches recruited them before. They've got a relationship with them. So, yeah, I think when you hire a coach, one of the first, particularly if you've been to good places, if you've been to a place like Georgia where they've won the championship, I mean, you want to do things like they do it.
Yeah.
This is a monkey see, monkey do business, always has been. And so, I think he'll probably hire someone he's familiar with. I hope he's familiar with him.
Yeah.
I hope he is.
Well, in fairness, though, Kendall Browse was not someone that he had a long-term relationship with and knew it. From the way I remember
no, but the people he trusts did.
Right.
The
Kendall
people
Browse
he
kind of
trusts did.
Kendall Browse more or less cold called on Sam Pittman and got the job, and he had a resume, but so it doesn't always work that way. But I would look for someone that's crossed paths with him or someone that Sam trusts in the past.
Let's talk to Terry, who is in Memphis this morning. Good morning, Terry.
Yeah, just kind of backtrack a little bit on this Beckham issue. Have they considered all of the drama he creates in the locker room and on the field antics? And it seems like everywhere he goes, he melts down, and then you got a problem with the whole team. The chemistry messing up any kind of chemistry that the team has already. I mean, would that be worth even messing with this guy?
Well, Terry,
I thought I'd call and kind of get your thoughts on that.
Who won the Super Bowl last year?
Excuse me?
Who won the Super Bowl last year?
Oh, you know what? You caught me off guard.
It's the Rams, and that's
that's understood though. I mean that that's the reason that you go after a guy like that. I don't think the Cowboys are afraid of drama. Jerry's never been afraid of drama.
Nope. I think
he's afraid of not being in the middle of the drama. That's what he's afraid of. He's not the headline on the drama.
Terry, your point's well made. We know about the kicking net incident. Odell's had some other stuff, but I mean, you ask Sean McVay or anyone else that's a Los Angeles Rams fan, they don't win the Super Bowl without Odell Beckham Jr. Now, I don't know if he's the key cog or the key piece to get Dallas. What's the last one? 96 with
a Super Bowl.
Switzer
95 with Barry Switzer as the head coach.
I don't know if they can do that for the first time since 95, but I think if, as Chuck just made the point earlier, if he's healthy and it's just about money and he's ready to go, I think Jerry's going to take the risk. Now, what accompanies that, we'll have to wait and see, but when you line up CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Odell Beckham Jr., it's a pretty solid wide receiver core.
And the other thing is Jerry's running out of Super Bowls to get to. Jerry's running out of time. Point. I mean, Jerry's what, 80? 80 or 81 somewhere. Yeah. I mean, he's got more seasons behind him than ahead of him as the owner and general manager, and that's just the reality of he wants to see this thing through because this would, I would think, Chuck, in his own way, all the critics for him as the general manager, he'd be able to see, I told you so. He
wants to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, he lives to win a Super Bowl. Again, we can talk about all this other stuff. I just think it boils down to a question of health. If he was healthy, somebody had already signed him. He wouldn't still be out there. So, if he could play, somebody would have already signed him. There are other teams with plenty of money, and obviously, as you said, Ty, he was the difference last year for the Rams. So, we'll just have to see. I wouldn't worry about money, drama, any of that stuff. It's not like the Cowboys don't have a bunch of stars anyway. And I think if you go back and look, and I know he's acted the fool a few times, but a lot of times these guys really get upset because there's not good players around them. And, there's going to be plenty of good players there. They can go to Dallas is capable of going to the Super Bowl without him. I mean, they're capable of it.
Yeah. Hey, before we go, I want to remind you, Gaston's White River Resort has 40% off on rates right now when you stay 2 or more nights. It's their winter rates at Gaston's. It's the perfect time to take a visit during the holidays, or maybe you're thinking about New Year's. They have a great New Year's Eve party, music, great food, huge international smorgasbord. It's a wonderful place to spend the new year and watching games, enjoying great fishing. They got expert guides, top water boats. It's going to be a great experience on the water. We have plenty of days like yesterday where the weather is great and ideal for being out there. But I'm going to tell you, some of the coldest days are where some of the biggest fish are caught on the White River. 40% off with winter rates right now. Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
I love the show, guys. Listen to you every morning.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Hey, Hog fans.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard. Unlike those other companies, items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Unleash your inner detective at the 6 Foot Climb Murder Mystery Dinner. It's the ultimate murder mystery experience where you will enjoy a riveting night of conundrum and peril disguised as belly shaking, feet stomping, side-splitting laughter. Enjoy a scrumptious dinner coupled with some of the best entertainment in the Arkansas River Valley. The 6 Foot Climb is an experience you will never forget. Hosted at the Beard and Lady Inn in Chester, Arkansas. For tickets and more information, go to the6footclimb.com. Basic tune-up, their dependable service department is always ready to help. Stop by Champion Cycling today at 5500 Mastard Road, and they will help you find your joy in cycling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Drew Sanders has declared for the NFL draft. Initially told Pete Thamel, then made it public yesterday. Guy's another player that is not going to be playing in this bowl game. We've seen him mocked in the first round. Hope he goes first round. When we're talking about Trevin Brazile, Ricky Council being transfers that could potentially get drafted, here's a guy that you would love to platform and put up as he transferred in. He went first round.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, this is a guy that, was not going to get to play in the spot that he's played at Arkansas had he stayed at Alabama. And as a caller said earlier, he bet on himself, and it worked. It worked for him, and you got to applaud him for that. It also kind of tells you that, man, Alabama stockpiles a lot of players, don't they? I mean, they got a lot of guys that don't play that are really good.
Good ones.
So when you hear about a second-string guy at Alabama leaving, he's still probably a 5-star, maybe a 4-star, so he's still worth looking at.
Yeah, you think about – we were talking about this, I think you were away for a second. You've had Henry, you had Morgan, you've had Poole, you've had Sanders. For about is this as good as Arkansas has been for a three-season span at linebacker in a long time? I'm trying to think of 3 consecutive seasons you've been this strong, this consistent at the second level of your defense. It's been pretty good.
They've had good players there, that's for sure. Yeah. And, you look back, you look at any good team, they got good linebackers. I mean, they've got good linebackers. And that was the one thing that – and it's always kind of, when you look at Arkansas and compare it to the rest of the SEC, I mean, man, the good teams in our league, their linebackers are big. I mean, they're big. They look like defensive ends, and they run like safeties. And so those are the guys you want for sure.
Yeah, seems like depth.
Sanders was that kind of guy. Sanders is that kind of guy.
Depth, taxes, and no depth at linebacker has always been the conversations around our state,
You don't have to be as deep there as you once did because you're generally playing 5 defensive backs now. A lot of times you're playing 6. So you can get by with a smaller rotation there than you could back in the day when, you were lining up with 3 linebackers every play. Yeah. You had to go 6 deep there. Maybe more than that. You don't have to go quite as deep anymore when generally you're just playing 2.
All right, more news to get to. Barry Odom taking the head coaching job at UNLV. He initially is going to take a $100,000 pay cut, but his pay is going to increase there. He's going to be the highest paid Mountain West coach in the country. And, Tommy, he's slightly younger than you by about 11 months. He's got a lot of coaching left at 46 years old.
Yeah, this isn't where his last stop he wants to be. I mean, he's wanting to get back to a Power 5 job. He's got to make this go well. This needs to be a good, 3-year, 4-year run for him in Vegas. And then, Chuck, I would suspect he'll be back to being a name thrown around if things go well there for future Power 5 jobs.
Barry Odom, and I think this has been his greatest value to Sam Pittman, is he has been part of building this program, or in our case, rebuilding this program. There's a difference between coaching a team and building a program. Very, very different things. Lots of guys can coach teams. There aren't that many folks out there that can really build a program. And what I see in UNLV He's the first coach they've hired since John Robinson that's got extensive head coaching experience prior to UNLV. They've gone flavor of the month. They've gone cheap. And this is what they've had for 20 years. And so they've got to rebuild their program. And I think that's ultimately why they hired Barry Odom, is he can help them build a program. You got to set a standard. It starts as simple as this is how we do things here, or sometimes this is not how we do things here. I think that's his greatest value, and I think that's why he'll have a chance to succeed out there.
And if you're UNLV, you've signed up to play in this new Allegiant Stadium. I don't know what it seats, 65,000, 70,000, but it's one of the nicest new stadiums out there. You got to put a good product on the field. So you got to have someone that can build a program like you're saying, because you've made a commitment with facilities and all of these things that you're leasing that stadium. Product's got to match what else you got going on.
Well, I would imagine, too, they've made a commitment to staff. And as we've discussed, that may be the most important thing for a new coach, is the kind of staff that you assemble. For example, Barry Odom's a defensive guy. He's coaching in Vegas. Offensive coordinator is going to be a really important hire for him. That's a really important hire, because you've not only got to do well, you got to please your people. You got to know your base. You got to know your fan base. And this is Vegas. This is the land of the running Rebels. So I think that, for example, is an important hire. But, the fact that he's going there, what his salary is doesn't really, that doesn't tell me a lot, frankly. But the fact that he's going there tells me that they've committed to allow him to hire a staff. Because if you don't have the money to hire a staff, you don't have a chance.
Two more things here in your Hog update. Arkansas basketball wins close last night. I was unaware of this until Muss mentioned they had 5 seniors last night they played against, and we saw them go up against a veteran Creighton team. They struggled at times. That's going to be an opposition they're going to have to overcome this year as a younger, more inexperienced together basketball team.
Well, the thing about it is, though, when you get into conference play, you're going to play a lot of teams that are real similar. There aren't a lot of teams in our league that you look at and go, hey, they've been together 3 or 4 years. That's just not the way it works at the Power 5 level. At the mid-major level, it does. They'll lose maybe their best player to a high-major program. You see that a lot now with the transfer portal. But when you get into conference play, a lot of teams are in the same boat. They got really good, young, talented players. That's kind of the way big-time basketball is now at the the top 10 level. Most of these guys are, most everybody's got at least one and done guy. And so I don't know that you're going to play a team with 5 seniors or 4 seniors or even 3 juniors when you get into conference play. I think that'll be the exception rather than the rule.
Last thing to get to, Chase Lowry, Arkansas cornerbacks, entered the transfer portal. Guys, there's over 1,300 players in D1 football. You know how many of them are in the portal? I say 1,300, 13,000. Over 1,000 are in the portal. Over 1,000.
Here's the thing about the portal. Here's the thing. You go from being number 3, where you are, to being number 303 when you get into the portal. You go from being number 2 on the depth chart to being number 402. These guys that I hear these guys enter in the portal and they're just players. I mean, they're good. They're good. They wouldn't be there, but by comparison, they're just players. And I think they think that somebody's just going to come out of the blue and give them a better deal. And I hear some of these guys enter in the portal, and I think, man, you better have some place to go, because you may be left holding the bag when this is over.
That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It's brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Hour number 3 is coming up here on the Morning Rush. Do want to mention, as you brought up earlier in Hour 1, Tommy, it is the 81st anniversary of Pearl Harbor on this day in December 7th. Over 2,400 service members lost their lives, and wanted to make sure we get that in there.
For my grandparents, the older generation, that was their 9/11. And it's the 9, all of us younger, 9/11's the day. But for that generation, that was the day that, as was phrased, will live in infamy. Hey, we're brought to you by Sassy's this morning. For over 13 years, They've been bringing you delicious barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more. They got those barbecue tacos as well. You ought to try those out there on the menu there as well at Sassy's. Plus, Eric Musman Live, now at Sassy's newest location on Steamboat Drive. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics. Don't just survive the holidays, thrive. Treat yourself to a new hot tub to soak away the stress and soreness that comes with the busiest time of the year. With over 8,000 spas sold, no one else matches the sales and service that comes with a Burton hot tub. Burton's has over 80 hot tubs in stock, starting at $34.99 and payments as low as $47 a month with approved credit. Visit Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith and start hot tubbing right away. Visit burtonpools.com for all the details.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's time to plan the Christmas party for your business or family, and the place to make it a special and memorable time is at Doe's Eat Place in Fort Smith. Award-winning steaks and atmosphere, along with the largest wine selection in the River Valley, await your memorable evening. If you're thinking about what to get that hard-to-impress boss or family member, gift certificates from Doe's are sure to impress and bring a smile to their face. Don't delay making your reservations. Call Doe's Eat Place at 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 3rd Street. Open 5 till 9 Monday through Thursday and 5 till 10 Friday and Saturday.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Frank Rowe Furniture December tax-free Christmas sale. Frank Rowe Furniture carries made-in-the-USA furniture, including Catnapper, Jackson, and Best Home Furnishings, just to name a few. Frank Rowe Furniture also carries made-in-the-USA Speed Queen washers and dryers, and December is the month to buy. They have slashed their prices more than ever before and no sales tax. Frank Rowe Furniture wants to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and celebrate our Savior, Jesus Christ. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house, 405 4th Street, Farley.
If you farm, you have enough to worry about without worrying about how much more you're going to owe once your current variable or balloon interest rate increases. Interest rates are on the rise. This is the time to check out Farm Credit's long-term fixed rate options. Farm Credit offers the longest terms in the ag industry. Long-term fixed rates mean there's no surprises and your payments remain the same for the life of your loan. That's peace of mind in this changing interest rate climate. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Set your operation up for success and rest easy. Equal housing lender.
United Hail Pros is your one-stop shop auto body repair shop, specializing in paintless dent repair. Locally owned and operated, zero out-of-pocket with free car rental from Enterprise, with a lifetime warranty. Got hail damage? Don't delay. Call United Hail Pros yesterday. 479-309-3998. That's 479-309-3998.
Champion Cycling, located at 5500 Massard Road, is a locally owned bike shop in Fort Smith that wants to help you find the joy in cycling that has been a part of their family for years. Their goal is to find the right bike for you, whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure. Champion Cycling is totally stocked and has a large selection of bikes, including brands from Specialized, Pivot, and Look. Whether it's fixing a flat tire or a basic tune-up, their dependable service department is always ready to help. Stop by Champion Cycling today at 5500 Massard Road, and they will help you find your joy in cycling.
The Big Ten is up and filled with lots of Christmas gift savings at Jelco Outdoors. Hunting ground blinds, 20% off. Earth box blinds, $250 off. Fishing rods and reels, 20 to 50% off. Cowboy boots by Nakona, Tony Lama, Justin, Twisted X, and just arrived R. Watson boots, 25% off. And casual clothing, save up to 50% off. Don't miss the Big Tent sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Shop local, shop Jelco Outdoors.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, clouds, a chance of seeing some showers, a few thunderstorms. Our high temperatures today into the upper 50s north, mid 60s south. Rain picks up in intensity. We could see some periods of moderate to heavy rain at times, an overnight low in the low 50s. Showers with a chance of thunderstorms with heavy downpours on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
You're listening to the Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Second free throw's good, and that's it. 0.2 to play. They'll inbound it. The horn will sound, and Arkansas escapes. Eric Musselman, very complimentary of Mike Jones as they meet at midcourt.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. I want to know from all of you at 877-377-6963 why this opening, now at defensive coordinators, Barry Odom goes to UNLV. Why is it an attractive job? We'll talk about that coming up.
Hey, APAC Arcola has immediate openings right now in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, a heavy equipment operator, an electrician, diesel mechanic, you've got experience with paving asphalt or finishing concrete, or maybe your skills are in accounting or administration. They're looking for people in all kinds of roles to help the great team at APAC. They also have openings in Boone, Marion, and Baxter counties as well. Go to jobs.crh.com, and you can apply online. Top pay, great benefits that include insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group, they are equal opportunity employers.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
So why is this an attractive job for prospective coaches?
Which are you talking about, the defensive coordinator job?
DC job.
I think a lot of people would out there. I think it's obviously proved to be a place you can go and become a head coach. We just saw Barry Odom do that, and it's a great place to maybe get back to that. I think it's a place that when you're working with Sam Pittman, he brings maybe a unique approach to it, and an approach from a guy that's been a lifelong assistant until recently. I think Sam Pittman would be the attraction if I was probably narrowing it down to one thing, Chuck.
Well, money's got a lot to do with it, too. Let's not forget that's what these guys do for a living. And if you are an assistant coach, this is the league where you're going to make the most money. If you're a coordinator, this is the league where you're going to make the most money. generally speaking. There are exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, if you start matching salaries, this is the place to be. Best conference in the country, make more money you can make anywhere else. I think that's where it starts and stops.
Is there anyone on this staff that's quality enough to hire within that you would?
Well, I don't know that any of us are. I don't know that any of us are qualified to say that, frankly. I mean, there's names out there, but we'd just be picking names out of a hat. We're not qualified to say that. That's why you hire a head coach. He's got to go out and make that determination. It's a very important hire. There's no doubt about that. But it's an attractive job. It's again, best conference in America, best money. And, there'll be a lot of people lined up for that job.
You asked a question earlier about not losing Kendall Briles, Tommy. Let me ask you, and I think Clay posed this a couple months ago. Who could you afford to lose a little bit more, Briles or Odom? We're seeing Odom go out the door. Who would you, if you're Sam Pittman, take us in the mind of that, who hurts less leaving? Is it Odom or Briles?
See, I think that stuff's overrated. I think it matters. What matters most is when you hire a guy and he's good and he leaves, that you've got somebody ready to replace him and that the beat goes on. I think that's the most important thing. Coordinators are important. And you asked earlier, does Sam Pittman have a short list? I'm sure he's got one at all times. You wouldn't be good if you don't. But I'm sure he'll find somebody that's good.
Yeah. I mean, if you just want to look at it from personnel standpoint, there's probably more people ready to step into that role on the offensive side on your current staff. If you needed someone to put the hat on as coordinator on the offensive side, Dal Loggins, you've got him. You got Sam Pittman as a head coach, could help on offensive line. Cody Key, you got guys like that. But defensively, there's probably a few more challenges within your own staff just looking at resumes and experience. But I think each come with their own set of circumstances. And I think also what you got to look at is where I'm at with my roster. Well, right now, I think it's really important to keep your offensive coordinator when you got your quarterback coming back. That continuity. So I think it's each has its own priorities, and I think offensively right now, because of KJ's return, you really need Kendall Briles back there.
I'd agree with that.
I wonder when it comes to this whole thing, if Scher's gone, is that a good assumption that he's going to UNLV?
It's a fair assumption.
Okay.
I mean, he is the most Barry Odom guy on that staff without question. On the defensive side,
you brought it up earlier, Pooh Paul. Is there any idea that he might go with him? Your best linebacker, your best young player?
No.
Not a chance that his coach, his defensive coach, and his position coach are now going to another place?
Why would you think that?
Just asking a question. You don't think there's any players that will go to UNLV with Barry Odom and Michael Scher? That's the one that came to mind when he brought it up.
Well, that's not what you said. You said does Pooh Paul go. And Pooh Paul and any players are different.
Okay, so if he doesn't go, y'all are apparently that's not even a conceivable thought.
Well, Ty, it's a Mountain West school. I mean, this is the SEC.
Players have hit the Tommy. If you not watched the transfer portal, guys,
I've never heard of it. No,
we're arguing about nothing right now.
Guys are
going
down.
We're talking about nothing.
Well, yeah, because they're not getting playing time. You're talking about a player that's going to be the starting linebacker next year.
Okay.
He's not going to a Mountain West school. He's going to stay and play in the SEC.
Okay. That's just all I'm asking.
Okay.
Then who else would go?
Players
that are just not playing.
Players like Chase Lowry that aren't playing. Those are the type of players that can't seem to make Chuck spotting boards on Saturday, but are on the team. Players that have been week in, week out on the scout team.
So I don't think it's any
players that aren't making the travel roster. Those are the type of players that end up in those spots.
You don't think
I believe
any players in significant minutes would leave that are playing? It's just
not
guys that
UNLV,
aren't going to play.
No.
Okay.
Not to go to UNLV. No.
All right. Now that's more the question I was getting at. Is it just the ones that it's not that big of a deal, but it's the guys that are playing that you don't think are going to leave.
I think the ones that have contributed significant snaps this year will be back at Arkansas if they don't look to go elsewhere. I'm not saying they want to enter the portal, but they're not going to the portal to go to UNLV.
Okay.
These are SEC players. You recruit them to be SEC players.
Well, as I just brought up, there's plenty of SEC players that hit the portal and they go down. I mean, you rarely is the guy hitting the portal nowadays and leveling up or staying at the same spot. They're going down in classification. They're going down in conference. They're going down to that. So that thought that I had, it's not inconceivable thought, because the majority of guys, I don't know what the percentage is, they're not playing at the same level. They're going to a worse level or a worse conference.
But your starting linebacker isn't leaving an SEC school to go to a Mountain West type conference.
Okay. What about
NIL?
Yeah.
They're not going there.
Okay. So what with Arkansas right now and the NIL, which I think people are probably thinking it's better off than maybe it was. Do you think we're going to be in a situation where we lose players at any point because they're getting better offers? Is that something you see Arkansas having issues with?
Well, I think lots of schools are going to have issues with that. I don't know that you can speak generally, but I suspect there will be specific instances at a lot of places where, you got a guy and somebody else is offering a better deal. Do I think that happens or has already happened? Sure, I do. Absolutely. So I think that's always a concern. Despite what we might think, I mean, even A&M has found out, and even Alabama has found out. Lots of programs have found out that, a bottomless pit doesn't guarantee anything.
No.
It's from that respect, it's not the end-all, be-all. But, yes, I think there are players out there who are looking for a better deal. Yes, I do.
Do we have a grasp on what it takes to be, at top level, near the top shelf? I mean, we heard Saban talk earlier this year about like $3 or $4 million was what the football team had in NIL money. We've heard about Auburn having a collective of $11 million. What is the target? Chuck, what's the number that you need to be at to be competitive? Because I know it's going to get ratcheted up, but I don't really have a great feel for, hey, what kind of money do you need to raise for this every year?
Well, you've got to raise a lot of money. To pull figures out of the air, I don't know that that'd be fair, because some places are just it's just like everything else. Some places have more money than other places, and where you are and the lay of the land has a lot to do with that. I don't know what the figure is. I know that if you're going to recruit at a high level, the NIL's part of it, and that that's just the way it works now. It's I don't think they talk about that money a lot because, I don't know that every school out there wants people to know exactly what they're spending for a lot of reasons. So it's going to take a good chunk of change, though, if you're going to compete at the highest level. And by chunk of change, I mean into the millions.
So if you're a defensive coordinator looking at this job, a lot of head coaches look to their job and they're like, nope, we're good. Or at least that was the alleged conversation. Top 2 linebackers are gone. We don't know about Jalen Catalon at this point in time. You lost a couple other pieces as well. Miles Slusher, I know a lot of different places has that. What's attractable about this roster that you have right now? You mentioned the NIL aspect, but when you look at this defensive side, what do you like? I can work with this, I can work with that.
Well,
what
we
do you
don't
like
know
about
yet.
this roster?
We don't know yet. It's not assembled yet. I mean, you think about it, at this time last year, we didn't know Dwight McLaughlin was going to be a Razorback. He turns out to be an all-conference corner. You don't know what you've got yet. I mean, to say today this is what the roster is going to look like, that's impossible to do. Now, if you hire somebody and he's got a vision and a framework and, the timing's right, then maybe he affects some of the things you do in the portal. Maybe you don't, maybe that guy's not able to come at a time when, you could utilize him in that respect. Timing, in other words, has a lot to do with all this. But, when you're talking about the attraction of a job, we get caught up in fan stuff. This is what these guys do for a living. This is how they feed their family. And, money's important. There's not any of us that, you can say when you're young money doesn't matter, and then you get a little bit older and you realize it matters a lot. And I think that's what makes this job attractive before you even get to the roster. Now, you've got to have a vision, and you've got to convince the guy hiring you that you know the personnel and you've got a plan. But if they offer you a job as a coordinator at an SEC school and you're not a coordinator now, or you're not a coordinator at a Power 5 school, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. You're probably going to triple your salary, maybe quadruple your salary. I mean, if you're a good assistant making $400-ish thousand, now you're going to make close to $2 million. I mean, you're talking about 5 times your salary. So, but to your question, I think players like Jordan Dominic, Chris Paul, which you talked about, maybe even a player like Quincy McAdoo wasn't even brought in to be in your secondary. I think you're asking, but are there pieces to build around a foundation to start with if I took this job? And I think there are a few players there that you could build around.
Barry was making 1.85. You think we see a coordinator that they bring in make similar? I guess it depends on the experience.
You hope, because that means you got a good one, I would think. I mean, if you're going to pay someone $2 million or more or near that, I think that means you've got a good one.
I think one of the things, again, that made Odom so valuable in terms of the money that he made was the fact that he was essentially the associate head coach for Sam Pittman. He was his sounding board. I think that was his value, and I think as they instilled how they want their program to be, the word culture, I use it a lot, and everybody does, and it's kind of loses its meaning. Sometimes it's used so much, but Arkansas needed a total change in every respect when Coach Pittman came in here, and Barry Odom was of great assistance in that process. And again, I think that's why UNLV hired him, is because they want to build a program now. They're tired of flavor of the month. They got to build a program. They got to have a foundation. And again, this is real money. We get desensitized tossing these figures around, but this is real money. That's why a coordinator's job in the SEC is attractive, and head coaches make good money too, even at places like UNLV.
And if I'm in Hunter Yurichek's chair, having gone through COVID, having seen what can happen, in the blink of an eye, I would sleep a little better at night knowing there's somebody on that staff that if you end up in a situation again where your head coach can't go for a game because of what we saw during COVID, that you have someone that even in the interim for a week or a few days or whatever, I got someone I trust that can hold the reins until coach is back. And that became valuable during the COVID period at many schools, not just Arkansas. And you think, well, that's behind us, won't happen again. Well, really? Really?
Well, I hope it's a one-off.
I hope it is, but I know this. If I was in Hunter Yurichek's chair, you never know what's going to happen. A coach leaves. Things just happen. Having someone that, hey, can be my placeholder at the least it's comforting, I would believe.
Well, I think the most important thing in terms of if you've got a former head coach on your staff is he has a sense of what that head coach needs, because he knew what he needed when he was the head coach, and I think that's a perspective that you don't always get. Guys, we've been talking about money. I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to the Mach 1 Market Moment podcast, but they've got a new one up. And, there's a new article out from the New York Times that shows an increased push to advertise online sports betting toward college students and claims that the universities themselves are to blame. And you can check out the latest episode of the Mach 1 Market Moment podcast as local financial experts weigh in on how this is going to have an impact on people's finances, students' finances. So you can go to Mach1FG.com. That's Mach, M-A-C-H, the number 1, FG.com, and find out more. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC, is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit Mach1Financial.com/disclosures.
Let's talk to Gary, who's in Fort Smith. Good morning, Gary.
Hey, guys. Quick question for you. I know Coach Pittman has said that he wants this to be his last job. And I always get the impression that, maybe now he's 4 or 5 years max, and then he's done. I always thought that Barry Odom would be a top-of-the-list guy for his replacement after he's gone, simply because of their relationship, the relationship with Hunter Yurichek. He's been the SEC coach. He's leaving on good terms. He's a class act. I just think that it's some long-term strategy planning that lots of factors and lots of things could change, but he would be at the top of the list of somebody that would replace Sam Pittman when Sam Pittman retires.
Well, I don't think him going to UNLV prohibits that at any point.
Oh no, I think that helps him.
Well, if he goes out there and wins at UNLV, he will have done something that nobody else has done, and so he'll be on a lot of people's lists. Mm-hmm. That's a yeoman's job out there. But if he can do it, there's going to be a lot of people wanting to do it at their place too.
We'll have to wait and see what kind of success he has out there. Guys, I walked into Walmart yesterday. It's Salvation Army ring bell seasoning.
Right.
Do you guys always contribute to this
always.
when you walk by? Every time?
Always.
I don't always have change in my pocket.
Do you feel guilty if you walk by and don't give them any money?
I feel guilty. I mean, we're in a world, though, that, I don't always carry cash.
I had some in my wallet yesterday. I never have cash.
I never have cash, and I guess I should start dipping into the change bucket in my car. No, it's not a bucket, but, a console thing. But I don't know. I've gotten into the habit. I just don't carry a lot of folding money in my pocket anymore.
Well, I'm an old guy. We've always got cash. So I always drop a little bit in. I think if you do your research, what the Salvation Army does and where your money goes and how it's spent, there's nobody better.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that.
I thought it was just my generation that didn't carry
Chuck's
cash.
generation still has those plastic photo holders in their
I got
in their
the
wallet.
clip, baby. I got the money clip.
He puts those $100 bills between the
That's
photos
right.
in his photo holder in his trifold wallet. So.
Put a couple of fives on the outside, for cover.
Yeah.
And then keep the big money down underneath.
See, the young guys do it the other way. They get a bunch of ones and fives and wrap that 100 on the outside to make it look like it's a
You run into a guy in his 50s or 60s. If he's done okay in life, he's going to have at least a C note in his wallet.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the guy that's next to him, 20 years younger and a millionaire, and he doesn't have.
Yeah.
But the older guy's always going to have a C note tucked away somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
What's a C note? Is that
$100 bill.
$100 bill.
Yeah,
Okay.
$100 bill.
Well, some of them carry about 1,000 around. So I've got some of them guys. I'd be a nervous wreck walking around with $600,000-$800,000.
Scared enough walking around with 2 credit cards. So, Chuck, let me ask you this: Do you hand the greeter the money, or do you stuff it in so they don't see the amount? Do you hand them that $100 bill?
I usually just I don't put $100 in there, but I generally just walk up and have it folded and place it in there, and they say have a nice day, and I say have a nice day, and we go on about our business.
I actually owe the one that and I'll tell you why. I was walking up the other day, I was on the phone. I may have been talking to one of you guys, and they quit ringing the bell while I was walking in. I thought, well, that's – and I stopped and said, thank you. I appreciate that. So it's very kind of them. They got to find a way for you to electronically give.
We should volunteer and do that. I know our schedule's a little busy, but we could do an ESPN Arkansas Salvation Army Day.
Do the show from somewhere like that some morning.
Or you could just go out there and do it.
Yeah.
Or you could just go out there and do it, not tell anybody.
That too. Either way.
You think that's going to happen, Chuck?
I was going to say.
It'd be a picture on social media
Who
in
am I
about 12
kidding?
seconds.
Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
I volunteered before and hadn't said anything. Good
I'm
just getting
joking.
drilled every single morning.
Hey, we're brought to you by The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence or gate or anything you need involving a fence to protect your property, your home, your business, whatever it may be. 782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, we'll come back and we'll talk a little basketball in just a sec. Plus, your SEC update is coming up on the Morning Rush.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Governor Asa Hutchinson.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call
and built-in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard. Unlike those other companies, items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
Unleash your inner detective at the 6 Foot Climb Murder Mystery Dinner. It's the ultimate murder mystery experience where you will enjoy a riveting night of conundrum and peril disguised as belly shaking, feet stomping, side splitting laughter. Enjoy a scrumptious dinner coupled with some of the best entertainment in the Arkansas River Valley. The 6 Foot Climb is an experience you will never forget. Hosted at the Beard and Lady Inn in Chester, Arkansas. For tickets and more information, go to the6footclimb.com. Is a locally owned bike shop in Fort Smith that wants to help you find the joy in cycling that has been a part of their family for years. Their goal is to find the right bike for you, whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure. Champion Cycling is totally stocked and has a large selection of bikes, including brands from Specialized, Pivot, and Look. Whether it's fixing a flat tire or a basic tune-up, their dependable service department is always ready to help. Stop by Champion Cycling today at 5500 Mastard Road, and they will help you find your joy in cycling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
The one thing that these guys all have, this is what I think serves them best. They have a great joy in going out and playing basketball. They have different terms for it. They'll say things like, he's just balling. I know that's what they say about you, Ty, when you play. They say, Ty's just balling today.
All right, we'll talk some more basketball coming up in just a sec. Arkansas narrowly wins over UNC Greensboro last night. Tom, at the end of the day, still got a victory.
A win is a win. Larry Rath with Rath Auto Resources with us now. He's trying to get rid of bad Santa gifts right now, and that's it's Larry to the rescue to make sure Christmas goes well this year. Larry, good morning.
Hey, ho, guys. How you doing?
We are well, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm having a good time with this whole thing with, the better, nicer, newer cars for our customers. Better than a Secret Santa gift, for sure. I mean, whoever got a good one. I don't know of any. And, folks, we're tired of that. We're going to make sure that you have a Merry Christmas in a nicer, newer car. And just think about it. I mean, you got all that travel coming up. You're going to the in-laws' house. What's better than showing up in a nicer, newer car? You go home and see family. You show up in a nicer, newer car. It's a gift for your whole family, too. They all get to ride in it. It's a great idea to get yourself something nicer, newer right now. And really, because you can get up to $4,500 extra for your trade right now. And folks, now that's a Merry Christmas gift right there. And you're going to save money when you buy the car. This live market value pricing ensures you never pay too much for a car at Rath Auto Resources. And we've been lowering those prices. We went back through, lowered all our prices at the start of the month. Over $100,000 in discounts that go to our customers. That's our Merry Christmas gift to all of our favorite friends and family out there in Rath Auto Resources. And, Rath Mitsubishi up here in Springdale, we've got a great selection of the new Mitsubishis, the best selection we've ever had. 22 and 23 Outlanders. You can save some real money on those and get extra for your trade. We've got the best selection we've had. It's a great time to come in and drive these cars. If you haven't seen them, come on in today. Check out the new Mitsubishi product at Rath Mitsubishi. If you're keeping the car you have, the Meineke Car Care Centers, they're there for you to help you take care of that car with half-off brakes. Buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. They've got some other great specials going on back there. A really good time to take care of the car you have, or better yet, trade it in, get the $4,500 extra for that trade-in, and start driving something nicer and newer today from Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale, the Meineke Car Care Centers at both locations. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, that's Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Larry, enjoy your Wednesday, and we'll chat later this week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. And folks, come see us.
All right, so you didn't have the lead for much of the game last night. We saw Nick Smith Jr., a different one in the second half relative to how he played in the first. 16 second half points. Chucker, it looks like he's really starting to come into his own as the best college prospect in the country.
I don't know if you could see it on television. I would imagine you could. His facial expression in the second half, I mean, it changed. There was a look of determination on his face. And, it was almost like, well, if nobody else is going to win this game, I guess I will. And he just took over. He just took over. And that's what great players do. He was not going to let Arkansas lose last night. That play he made at the end and the free throws that he hit down the stretch, he wanted the ball. We've talked about who would have the ball in the critical moments. Well, Nick Smith Jr. is going to have the ball. Based on what we've seen so far, I'm good with that.
And I know there's no update on Trevin Brazile as of this morning. Here's what Eric Musselman had to say when he went down last night.
On a night that we were really struggling, it certainly changed the complexion of, we had a lot of players playing out of position that we'll have to try to get corrected very quickly before we play a really good Oklahoma team on Saturday. We need everybody ready to play from start to finish.
Tommy, you talked about them packing it in earlier, and the guards did not shoot well from 3 last night. They ended up going 3 for 18. Trevin's the one big guy that is consistent from the three-point line. Makai can't shoot threes. Mikal can't shoot threes. Kamani can't shoot threes. Now you don't have that stretch 4/small 5 to have the floor open up a little bit. The big men aren't camping out in the lane. I'm curious to see what that looks like if he can't go on Saturday.
Arkansas wasn't turning over Greensboro in that first 15 minutes. Greensboro only had 5 turnovers in the first half. Arkansas had 2 points off turnovers. Chuck, they need to feast on that a lot of games. They ended up for the game with Arkansas had 6 on turnovers, but Arkansas turned the ball over themselves 9 times in the first half. It all changed in the last few minutes, but I thought the turnovers early in the ball game were as big a part of the problem as Arkansas not shooting well.
Yeah, that was an issue early, and that happens when you're not as ready to play that night as maybe you are on another night. Turnovers, particularly early in the game, kind of give you an idea. The good news there, and even though Arkansas did not force turnovers and score off of them in the first half, you look at what happened in the game. I mean, points off turnovers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they had any in the second half. I don't think Greensboro had any points off turnovers. It was 9-2 at halftime, correct. And the game ended up 9-6. I mean, it wasn't like Arkansas forced a bunch or points well made there. But the only good news in that, on the flip side, was that when Arkansas turned it over, even then, a lot of times they were able to get stops or Greensboro missed shots. I mean, Greensboro shot 31%. Arkansas shot 33%. Neither one of them were setting the world on fire.
Yeah, Arkansas only had 3 second-half turnovers. So, I mean, hard to score off ones that aren't there. So
right.
But the story is still where you began the conversation. That's Trevin Brazile, and what's his prognosis long-term? We don't know. Maybe we'll find out. I know this. I would feel a lot better about going to Tulsa with him than I do about the thought of going without him. So
no doubt about it. Yeah. And if you listen to what Muss said right there, he said we had a lot of people playing out of position as a result of him being out. We're going to have to work on that before we play Oklahoma. If you listen to what he says there, he's obviously planning as though they might have to go without him. We don't know, but he's planning as though they might not have him.
Hey, do you have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate and you're worried about all of the increases in the cost of borrowing money, the rising interest rates right now? Talk to Farm Credit. They have long-term fixed rates that are locked in for the life of your loan. Long-term fixed rates means peace of mind in these changing economic times. These are the longest terms available in the ag industry. Talk to Farm Credit today. There's an office near you. Find one at myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal housing lender.
I will tell you who made the all-coaches team coming up in your SEC update.
Streaming live from HitThatLine.com.
This is former Razorback Chris Gregg, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The world is always changing, and our lives change right along with it. So when you need a bigger space for that gym or remote office, a larger kitchen, or a yard to run around in, your local Weichert agent can help. And when your life changes again, and you're looking for that cozy place for just the two of you, your Weichert agent can help then too. Because at Weichert Realtors, we know that no matter how the world changes around you, we'll take you home. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The new Lotto game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is creating new traditions for our players, like Vic from Texarkana.
For Lotto, I always play multiples of 7. It ain't math. That's just how many times I've been kicked by a horse. How's that lucky, you say? Well, I'm still here, ain't I?
Your numbers, your game. Play Lotto every Wednesday and Saturday for your chance to match 6 and get rich. Only $2 per play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Lucky number 7.
Every day brings new possibilities. They could be simple, like making dinner plans with friends, or exciting, like starting a new side hustle, or maybe huge, like buying a new home. Whatever life brings your way, Arvest Bank's highly rated mobile apps give you control of your finances. Pay bills, manage your cards, send money, and more, all on your time. So say goodbye limits and hello possibilities with Arvest Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting bays with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
Ho, ho, ho! Who's your Santa, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and I'm tired of bad Secret Santa gifts. So this year, I'm everyone's not-so-secret Santa. Bring me your old ride, and I'll give you up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value. That's a whole lot more for your trade. So this season, don't exchange gifts. Exchange your old ride for something nicer and newer from our huge selection of Rath road-ready vehicles, and you could get up to $4,000 more than it's worth. Keeping the car you have? Let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection. Half off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Plus, check out our inflation-beating Meineke vehicle service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They make great stocking stuffers. So let me be your not-so-secret Santa. And you could get up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value for your old ride. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Bite this network with an urgent weekend morning update. You can go back to sleep. That's right, relax. Because Hardee's now serves their new Super Biscuit sandwiches every day and until noon on weekends. So you can rise and dine with a whole lot of meat on a made-from-scratch biscuit. More on this whenever you wake up and get back from Hardee's. Bite into the new Super Sausage and Super Bacon Biscuits only at Hardee's. For a limited time at participating Hardee's. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
It's always the season for the outdoors. At the Tackle Box, experience the ultimate outdoor shopping experience this season. Custom-made fire pits, perfect for the backyard. Best selection of fly fishing supplies and materials. Guns on sale. Buy a gun and get a box of ammo for half price. Sporting gifts and decor, fishing supplies galore. Find the old and find the new. You never know what you'll find at the Tackle Box.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
Van Alma Tire Center is always right around the corner from you with all the major brand tires for you to choose from. Bridgestone, Firestone, Cooper, and more. Turn into Van Alma Tire Center for all your tire needs, alignments, oil changes, brakes, and more. With service you can depend on. Van Alma Tire Center is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle and tire needs. Right around the corner at 6805 Alma Highway, 5 miles east of Van Buren and 2 miles west of Alma.
It's getting colder outside. Did you know you could save up to 60% on your heating bill by converting to safe, reliable natural gas from AOG? The savings can actually pay for your conversion cost. So why pay more to heat your home and water? The convenience and abundant supply of American-produced natural gas makes it the right choice. Call 784-2000 or visit AOGC.com and switch to natural gas today. AOG, energy for life.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
Ricky Stromberg, Drew Sanders, Jake Bates, Rocket Sanders, Bumper Pool, and Dwight McAuthorn all received all SEC selections from the coaches. First 3 got first team, second 3 got second team honors. Your favorite time of year, time of the award season that just keeps. Now, this is one you actually care about, coach's opinion.
I think the coaches, the AP, the football writers, I would just say there's so many of them, it waters down the ones that matter. This is one that matters. So I think the coaches' selections, I think, a lot of times these polls and everything goes on, they don't necessarily put a lot of time into it. I think coaches do take the time to vote on these all SEC teams, both before and after the year. And one thing we should do, we never do it, we talk about doing it, is comparing the two lists. Here's what we talked about in July. Here's who's actually on at the end.
Preseason.
Sometimes, the preseason that comes out at SEC Media Days, we get our panties all wadded up when our guy didn't make it, and we always say, well, the postseason list is the one that matters. Well, it is, and sometimes you can find consistency there. Sometimes you find guys that proved the world wrong back from the summer.
3 guys were on it preseason, at least from this list. Ricky Stromberg was on some, Bumper Pool was on some, and then Rocket Sanders was, I think, on one as well, depending on who you looked at. The other 3, Bates, transfer, Drew Sanders transfer and Dwight McLaughlin transfer were not on these lists. And then also Jalen Cattle was on the preseason. Didn't get included on this, unfortunately, because of the injury. Drew Sanders entering the NFL draft as of yesterday will not play the upcoming Liberty Bowl game to get ready. Mel Kiper has him as the 17th overall prospect. Would it be a disappointment if he didn't go in the first round?
Well, I think, yeah. I mean, where you're mocked, what you're leaving for. But, I mean, the decision to leave and put yourself in that situation, is it the right one of your second round instead? Well, it's still the right decision. I mean, so what he's doing in regards to his time at Arkansas, he's made the right call. But, yeah, it'd be great for Arkansas to have a defensive player in the first round. I mean, there's been offensive guys go. You've seen some offensive linemen go first round, like Froholt and stuff, but there's not a long list of first half of first round guys in recent years defensively at Arkansas.
Yeah, you mean Ragnow, right?
Yeah, what did I say? Ragnow.
No, Froholt's playing though.
Yeah,
another guy that's playing. You've actually
Ragnow was a first round pick.
Yeah,
so.
You've actually got some first. You've got some guys that are playing the National Football League that are making an impact, which is cool to see. Dietrich Wise Jr. is having a pretty solid year. I can't remember who was calling the Pats game the other night, but they were very, very complimentary of what Dietrich has done for the Patriots this season. Dallas Cowboys courting Odell Beckham Jr. took him to a Mavs game. They're not the only ones. There's a few other teams in the market for the former LSU wide receivers services. Ed Werder is reporting that we don't know if he's going to be ready till mid-January, what happens in mid-January, Tommy, in the NFL?
Mid-January? Playoffs.
Playoff
time, baby. And it's really, I guess it starts really before mid-January with wild cards. Everything's gotten pushed back a little bit in recent years. But, yeah, I mean, that's what's important. Can he help your team get to a Super Bowl? That's what they've got to determine. Can he help the Dallas Cowboys? Chuck said, a couple of plays, are they worth it? Only if you get to the Super Bowl is it worth it.
And I didn't think about that until you made the point earlier. Jerry's 80-81. And not to get too morbid here, and it's going to be a sad day when he does pass away, but you got to go for it in these final years down the stretch.
I don't know how many more seasons he's got ahead of him, but he's got a lot more behind him than ahead of him, so is my point. And I know he wants to win it as the owner and the financial ramifications and rewards of winning the Super Bowl. But Jerry's ego, as general manager, wants to win one so he can give the whole world the bird that, hey, I know what I'm doing over here, picking players, running this thing. Look here, we got a Super Bowl, and I did it as general manager. We know there's a big part of him wants to be able to say that.
Will he sacrifice that before he croaks, do you think?
I like how you put that so delicately there.
Will he sacrifice that title and that job?
General manager?
Yes.
No, he'll take that to his grave.
Will they win before? With him at the helm?
How do I answer that? I don't know. I mean, they've got a good team.
Football opinion on that. But people have said...
my answer would be no, and I would love for the Cowboys to win a Super Bowl. But my answer would be no because they always seem to find a way to get in their own way since... I mean, I know it was Barry Switzer in 95, but that was Jimmy Johnson's team. That was his... Barry came in and just stayed out of the way and got them back to the Super Bowl, but... Jimmy Johnson was the architect of all of that. Since then, they really haven't been close, and they've gotten in their way.
I'm not
gotten in their own way.
Is he in the Ring
often.
of Honor? Help me. Is he still not
Jimmy?
in the ring? Yeah.
No, remember they talked about that on set when they had all those guys together, and they were going to. But to my knowledge, I mean, no, that didn't happen. They hadn't put him.
It's the curse, man. No one's name's back on the court here. As soon as Jimmy does that, Jerry will win one of those.
You might be right. All right, that's your update. It's brought to you by Ashley Air. When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. That's Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Get a $50 discount on plumbing repairs or get your drains cleaned out. If you got a clogged drain for $129, their services come with a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Clogged drains, leaky faucets, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service today. That's AshleyAir.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Okay, we know that whole Ticketmaster fiasco with Taylor Swift, or at least we heard about it from DQ on Ruskin and Zach. I did not buy tickets.
Tell me about it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Ticketmaster crashed and because there's too many people on the server, and it was just horrible.
Bigger deal right now, Garth Brooks still or Taylor Swift?
Bigger deal.
I mean, we saw how the tickets, how in an 80,000 seat, she's one of those few that just like Garth they could bring her right up here to Razorback or any stadium. She's selling every seat.
Yeah.
Just like Garth did.
I don't think that our audience could comprehend that Taylor Swift is a bigger deal than Garth Brooks. So I'm going to say Garth
she's
Brooks.
A bigger deal. She's as big a deal. So.
Okay, that's probably the better way to put it. Well, I want to see Morgan Wallen just.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. So.
Well, ask your two daughters. And it's not the thing about. I know
I got
Al Michael,
one that would like the youngest one. Yeah.
She doesn't care. Okay. Well, Morgan Wallen just announced his new tour. And
Billie Eilish, that would be the one that she'd
go to.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's playing in a few stadiums. He's playing at Vaught Hemingway in Oxford. He's playing at Busch Stadium, which is the one I wanted to go to. So I was excited. I got the pre-sale email, except it's for the wrong day. And I can't go on a Thursday night. It's a Friday. Like the Friday night concert was the one I go to. So my beef is that the Ticketmaster, for whatever reason, has just had issues the last couple weeks with concerts. It hadn't just been with his or with hers, but I have gotten countless people telling me, well, I tried to buy this and it didn't work, and buy that. I just feel like I know it's not easy to run that type of business, but it's driving me nuts. Because I hadn't bought a concert ticket in 2 years or a year, and now I'm not going to, because of how sold out he's going to be, not going to be able to do that, which stinks.
I tell you, I've got some tickets through SeatGeek for the Cotton Bowl, USC Tulane, trying to put those out there. To get rid of them. Need to sell them. Need to move on. Well, you got to put in these are the radio station's tickets. They're not mine, but I need to sell them on our behalf here, right? Because we get these Cotton Bowl tickets. Well, you got to put in a Social Security number. I won't put in mine. I don't want a 1099 on that. That's the other thing that's driving me nuts right now.
Yeah.
You got to put in your Social Security for all this. I got to figure a workaround on this. So, yeah, all that stuff's driving people nuts right now. And now if you sell tickets for more than $600 total in a year, cumulative. The old tax man's got his hand out.
I'm getting one of those for the club tickets this year, which is frustrating. Now
you got to keep your receipts, I guess, where you bought them, so you can deduct all that.
The workaround in the state of Arkansas when it comes to Razorback football, basketball, and baseball tickets is there's a Facebook page that has like 20,000 fans on it. So if you ever want to sell something in-state, I'd go there first. That way you don't have to. You just, hey, Venmo me this. All right, Cash App this.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of trouble getting. I mean, we normally just give away our Razorback tickets, but we've had these for a long, long time around here, and want to hang on to them, but Southern Cal, Tulane. I mean, somebody out there wants them. It's just not me.
Yeah, there's probably a use. For example, one of my best friend's dads went to medical school at Tulane. He'd love to go to that. He lives in Dallas. He'd love to go to that.
I got 4 for sale. Good seats and a parking pass.
He'd love to go to that game.
And yes, they're for sale. They're not for giveaway.
That's not.
I'm not talking to you. I'm just all the texters. Everybody wanting freebies.
It's not exactly an enticing game. The Green Wave versus
I talked to someone that I was going to. It's a friend of ours, client of ours, who's a Southern Cal grad, and they're like, we're not even really excited about this game. So that makes me wonder if Tulane's going to beat Southern Cal. Does the team have the same sentiment where they're disappointed, got beat by Utah, they wanted to be in the playoff? The team that's more motivated, this is Tulane's moment. I mean, they could take down. That's a game you might keep an eye on for an upset.
I don't remember Willie Fritz is still there or not, if he got an off-season job. I can't remember. But, yeah, I think the Green Wave, they're going to be, as you just said, they're going to be passionate. I think Caleb Williams is a true sophomore, so he can't opt out to go to the NFL. But if that was the case, I don't think he'd play in this game.
A hamstring that was his problem?
Yeah, he looked very hobbled in the Utah game. We got a text in here that I want to get to before we close shop out of the 479 saying this Hogs Hoops team might be more talented than 94 national championship. That's pretty high praise for a team that went and won the whole stinking thing.
That was a more, say, veteran-laden.
Corliss was what, a sophomore?
Sophomore that year, I guess.
Scotty's a sophomore.
Yeah, because all those guys left after their junior years, which was kind of the standard practice then. So I say it was a more veteran-laden team, but I guess technically I'm right. But, this team the foundation of this team are freshmen, true freshmen. Wouldn't you say that's accurate?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, I know there's some more experienced players, and Brazil one of them, but the foundation of this team is just that. I don't think we can say they're more talented. It's not a complete picture yet. Is the potential to be there, to be that Yes, but I don't think we can declare that yet. Hey, with the holidays here, it's a stressful time. Soak away the stress in a hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas. They know what they're doing. They've sold over 8,000 spas in their 44 years, and no one can match the sales and service that comes with a Burton hot tub. Burton Pools and Spas has over 80 hot tubs in stock today. I got one at my house, and I'm going to tell you, we couldn't live without it. Prices start at $34.99, payments as low as $47 a month. You can't beat what you're going to get at Burton Pools and Spas. Sales and service at Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale, and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com.
Getting to a Recruiting Thursday tomorrow with Richard Davenport. Get the latest from him on some of the guys that Arkansas is pursuing in the transfer portal. Get his reaction to Keytron Jackson, some other guys that have also left at this point. I mentioned the stat earlier. There's over 13,000 players playing college football this year. Over 1,000 of them are in the transfer portal. It's pretty staggering numbers to see where they're at right now. Hopefully Sam Pittman, and I would typically say Barry Odom, but now at UNLV, it'll be more of Sam Pittman, Kendall Briles, and the rest of that staff. They do some good digging, some good scouting on some of the guys that they might want to come to Fayetteville. For Tommy Kraft and Chuck Barrett, I'm Ty Richardson. Everyone have a fantastic What's Your Beef Wednesday. Don't let it get to you today. We'll talk to you tomorrow on a Recruiting Thursday.